Radio Ronin Show is on the air.
What a weekend.
Oh,
Can you hear it in my voice?
Oh, boy.
How tired we are.
Oh, man. I am so tired. Oh, my gosh. And as of this recording, the weekend's not over.
No.
We still have more stuff to do.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's, first of all, we had a haboob here. And the Ronin invasion is underway. So we have tons of Ronin that are here in Vegas right now. And we had the weirdest haboob I've ever seen in my life.
It came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. And there was no wind. There's we usually get warnings before the haboobs come in.
We'll get warnings on our phones. Yeah, exactly. And this thing came out of nowhere. It's all over the news, by the way, Greg. They're like, where did this come from? How did this happen? There wasn't even any wind. And the next thing you know, dust is raining down on us.
Yeah. My car, I have a gray car. My car is completely tan. You can't see the gray in my car at all. It's that bad.
That was weird. Have you seen you've seen other haboobs that we've had here, haven't you, Greg?
I've never been present there before when a haboob has hit. And it was funny is when that came in, my first thought, Silent Hill. We're in Silent Hill.
Well, we didn't even know it was dust. It was this really fine dust. We thought it was actually humidity from Hurricane K.
Yeah.
That we were told was going to hit us.
I thought it was like a marine layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was dust. And so my voice is shot. It's
you feel gritty in your teeth.
Yeah. I can taste it. It's still hanging around. Not only that, just the concert and just yelling all weekend long. Everything from I'll tell you what, we'll talk about it here in a second. Let's get the show going. Hey, everybody, welcome to your Monday. It's the Radio Ronin Show. I am Chunga, or what's left of him anyway after this weekend. My goodness gracious. Way Cool Jr. right over here. It's Chandler Smith.
Metal! So I still kind of have it.
You sound great.
Just a little bit.
Oh, you're feeling it. Yeah. You're still feeling the flow.
Just a little bit,
and the Butterscotch Panda himself, although we should call you the Ruby Panda.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's Greg Pascal. He's got his hands up. He's doing the devil horns. He's got ruby red hair.
I'm sweaty. I'm so metal. Woohoo!
Wow, what a weekend. The show brought to you by Quench It. Angela, Evil Twin, wanted to say thank you. She asked me to tell everybody thanks because as all of you were heading down, as the Ronin invasion took place this weekend, a great deal of you that were driving stopped to Quench It on the way down.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so Angela was like, hey, please tell everybody thanks, because we had car after car after car after car, all Ronin coming through saying, hey, we're headed to Vegas. So,
she sent us a message you guys have no idea how many people are coming down.
Yeah, she was like, this is awesome.
Ready.
Yeah, she was like, you better be ready because you're about to get a tsunami of Ronin listeners. And it was awesome because we spent all weekend hanging out with people, and it was, it was fun. So we're going to tell the whole story here in just a second. But before we do that, do we have anything happening with Patreon, Greg?
All right, so we've got a few upgrades here. So editing their investment from $26 per month to $30 per month. We have Stage 4 Cancer Survivor. Suck it, Cancer!
Yeah! Hey, that's awesome. Congrats. So there's obviously a story here. Is this did somebody get to ring the bell and say that they are now cancer free, or what exactly is?
I don't know.
I would love to let us know. Let us know.
Honestly, send us a message.
Please
so
do.
that we can tell your heroic story of victory.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the kind of stuff that we love to talk about. So elaborate on that for us. Is this a thing that happened in the past, or is this a new thing? Let us know.
Suck it, Cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. If you would like to be, I'm assuming that's it, or do we have more?
No, we've got one more.
Okay.
So editing their investment from $107 per month to $110.77. We've got now, bear with me here, folks. Bear with me.
Oh, no. I know who this is.
Oh, damn.
I cut them all. Malvern, Mamirol, Maytag, Mira,
Maytag,
Panarone, Passendel, Pecorino, Sailors, Samso, and Scamors.
Wow.
Scamorza.
Pecorino and Sailors.
What the hell, dude? What are you trying to make me do here, Adam?
Adam Hunsaker. He's a cheese fiend.
Turophile, as they call it.
They're called turophiles.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks, man. Thanks to both of you. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very much for supporting us and for upping your investment. Much appreciated.
That's awesome.
If you would like to join the Patreon family, the Radio Ronin Patreon family, all you have to do, super, super simple. Just go to patreon.com/Radio Ronin. That's patreon.com/Radio Ronin.
There you go.
All right. So we have a massive, this show is just ridiculous today. Crazy. There's so much to talk about. There's so much going on. There's so many of you here in Vegas. We have a lot of ground to cover. So let's just get right to it.
Yeah, super show. Yeah.
First things first. Happy birthday, Emily Jameson.
Emily.
Hey, happy birthday.
Okay. So quick question. Is it Jameson or is it Jameson?
Ooh.
That's actually a good question.
Jameson?
I think it's Jameson.
Jameson.
Emily, if we got it wrong, she's an actress, and you get an actress's name wrong, and you will have hell to pay. So I'm like, I've already this is bad.
Yeah.
I think it's Jameson.
Okay.
So happy birthday, Emily Jameson.
Happy birthday!
We hope you're out there just acting your butt off and having a great end to your summer, and thanks for everything you do for the show. And I'm sorry that I couldn't come see you in Footloose.
Yeah.
I'm a little ways away, but apparently she killed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the production of Footloose. Also, happy birthday to Annalie Marinaka.
Hey!
I hope I said your name, Annalie. I hope I got your last name right, too. Believe it or not, I'm less worried about that one than I am Jameson.
Yeah. Right.
So, Annalie, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And also want to say a very special happy birthday to the big man himself. To the big guy.
Oh, man.
To the titan, to the godlike individual walking amongst us, Adam Hunsaker.
Hey, happy birthday! I hope you got lots and lots of cheese, dude.
Yeah.
His birthday was yesterday. It was on. We're recording this Sunday. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
So he had a birthday over the weekend. Happy birthday, Adam Hunsaker!
Happy birthday, dude!
So much for everything you do for the show. We love you so much. Thanks for all the weird memes that are scary
and being a bash and
bash royalty,
entertaining everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and we hope you and Godzilla had a lovely weekend and a very special birthday. Thanks for the friendship, dude.
Yeah,
much
that's
appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hope you had a great day. Okay, so before we go and get into the show, Bad Meme Friday.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Nobody liked my meme of going to the mailbox. I am offended.
You mean the dude with the boner?
Yes. That one was and then I had another meme of how proud you are when you use your initials to spell ass when you get high score on a video game.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. That was me. My memes sucked this week.
That's okay.
I will come back with a vengeance next week.
Oh,
I will be back with authority next week. We do have a new winner. First-time winner of Bad Meme Friday.
And it's deserved. I have to give it to this person. It's well deserved.
He is one of our hosts here, Jason Crockett.
Yeah, Crockett.
Nice.
Jason Crockett. Yeah, Jason Crockett is the winner of Bad Memes Friday. He made eyeball cookies that looked nothing like eyeballs.
Looked like some big old
movies. They were Tommy Lee cookies is what they were.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee cookies. They were supposed to be eyeballs. They looked nothing like eyeballs. But it was fun for me to see all of the ladies, all of the Ronin ladies saying, "Hey, I need to figure out how to make those.
I'm going to make those.
I got to make those cookies." So congratulations, Crockett. You are the winner of Bad Meme Friday.
Nice, man. Good job.
Bad Meme Friday again. It resumes at the end of the week. This next Friday. Start looking now. Get your memes ready. It starts midnight.
Yes.
On Friday.
Yeah.
So Thursday night and it goes until the next midnight.
Yeah. And we started approving them that quick, and I wait like all week, and I go through like 30 memes a week trying to find which one.
I was so proud of my memes. You guys just didn't,
I even made a meme. I made my own meme, and it got like 20 likes. I was like, oh,
you didn't. No, you didn't do well either.
I didn't. I did awful.
What was your meme? I can't remember what your meme was.
I've noticed too that most of my memes that I've been putting up have all been horror movie or Halloween related.
Yeah, because you're just in that zone.
Right? I put up a Hellraiser meme where you see the 50 Shades of Grey poster, and then you've got Pinhead saying amateurs.
Right.
Which I was quite proud of that one. I thought it was funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you should have won. You should have won. I think that was the week you were up against me, and it makes sense that you didn't. I'm just saying. Anyway, so Bad Meme Friday resumes again,
on Friday. Yeah.
So that's we had hundreds of memes.
Oh,
by the
so
way.
good.
Every week it gets bigger and bigger. If you would like to participate in Bad Meme Friday, you have to be a part of the Radio Ronin fam Facebook group.
Yeah, super easy.
So here's the way this works. You've got to be let in. So what you do is you just search the group on Facebook, the Ronin fam, and then you have to fill out the questions. You must fill out the questions so that so that we know you're not a bot.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
we have a lot of bots. We get just overwhelmed with bots, people wanting in, and we reject everybody that doesn't fill out the questions.
Yep.
So if you get rejected, that's why. Because you haven't filled out the stuff. So Panda, you're home. You've made it back home, just barely.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm back home, guys. I want to still be in Vegas right now.
We want you to still be in Vegas. Right? It's the weekend is not over. Like there's still stuff going on.
Exactly.
The Ronin are still everywhere as of this recording. We're hanging out at Senior Frogs later today with Shannon West, Saint Shannon West, and Madison. So
I'm
the
jealous.
festivities are continuing. Oh man, you had to leave, and we were all. It was a sad trombone moment because you were getting out of the car. We're like, man, this is too soon. You've been here for a week, and we were saying this is way too soon.
Well, the weird thing is, like, when we live in Vegas and people come into town, like, I'm helping Greg with a suitcase through the Mandalay Bay, and I'm like, I feel like I'm going, like, my vacation's over.
Yeah, you feel like your vacation's over.
And then I have, like, the survivor's guilt that Panda's leaving, and we stay here, and I'm like, oh, man, this sucks.
Yeah, well, you got your Auntie Anne's, and it looked all right. And the flight was pretty much uneventful, right? Everything was good.
Oh, yeah, like, in fact, that was the emptiest I have ever seen Harry Reid Airport. It was a ghost town for most of it. Like my flight was completely full, but as I breezed through security. I mean, it was.
Oh, did you really?
That never happens.
Yeah. Wow. Huh. Well, I'm glad you made it home safe. I'm not happy you're home.
Yeah. Hey, same here, buddy.
But hey.
I mean, I like as I was leaving, because I always get like those post vacation blues. It's just a thing because you're like, I have to get back to reality. This sucks.
Yeah.
But
well, we get it with you.
Yeah.
We actually do get it with you. Yeah, for sure.
And I've already started looking at room rates to come back to Vegas in February.
Yes.
So there's that.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Okay, so we've got Greg. Greg has been here in Vegas with all the Ronin. He's now back home. Now, Chris, the other guy. We've got Crockett, we've got Chris. They've both been extremely busy. Our favorite English muffin, Chris too, is actually in England.
Yeah, right now.
And we're going to try and get him on the show later. We were going to have him on now. Chris is actually in England. He's stuck in horrible traffic. Somewhere by Stonehenge.
Which apparently you always get backed up in, but he's trying to drive back from Scotland. He's like, I'm going, mate. I'm coming. And it's like, all right, well,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So why do we want to have Chris on? Well, first of all, he went to the motherland for Chandler and I. He went to Scotland. But the other thing is, the Queen, you may not have heard this. I don't know if you've heard this or not.
a little something.
The Queen has passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
The Queen is dead. Long live the King is the saying. It's funny because some people were saying that on my Facebook page, and other people were getting offended.
Oh, like, really? They didn't realize that was...
No, it's an English phrase.
Yeah.
The Queen is dead. Long live the King.
Yeah, that's been around for a very long time.
1,000 years.
Yeah.
So don't be... Some people were like, the nerve. It's like, no, it's okay. It's all right. It's a saying in England. So we want to have Chris on because we actually notified Chris. I got the alert. It came on my phone that the Queen had died. And Chandler notified Chris, who is in England immediately. He was in a pub.
Yeah.
And while he was in the pub, he got the alert, and he started telling people, and he can clarify this.
Yeah.
As I understand it, he started telling people in the pub, "Hey, I'm just getting notice that the Queen has passed away." And the pub went completely silent. And a few minutes later, the alert came on in England that the Queen had died.
Oh my gosh!
And everybody emptied the pub and went outside on the street and saying, "God save the Queen."
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And it was a very emotional moment. And there wasn't a dry eye in the pub. It was very, very emotional for Chris. Very emotional for Bren. and very emotional for a lot of our friends that are in England listening to this now. So I don't mean to make light of this at all. We have tons of people in England listening, and we're going to have Chris on from England to talk about this and talk about what the mood is like in England. I think you can all figure out what the mood is like, but he'll elaborate. He'll talk more about what's happening in England and what he knows about the funeral and everything else. So,
what are the odds of him being in the motherland as this happened? You know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's fortuitous, or not fortuitous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll talk more about that. I don't want to get too into it now, but for our friends in England, you're gutted. We know it, and we'll talk about it coming up here in a minute. But back across the pond to the Ronin invasion. Oh man! So again, I'll say it again. You can hear it on my voice. We are exhaused. Yeah. I think I've slept, I don't know, maybe 3 hours.
Same here. There's no sleep at all.
It's just been crazy. Yep. We've had so many people come into town. Greg, we've had, let's see, what did we do when we were here? We did everything from watch riff tracks to we went and you went to Joe's for the very first time.
That's great. Yeah. Oh, and what an incredible experience that was. I mean, I loved every single second of it because first of all, that food is amazing.
Right, right. So we've got this place, and we've been talking it up to Panda now for months, and we're like, Greg, we have to take you to this place. We found it by accident. This is how it went down. Here's how we found Joe's.
Yeah.
We bought a car here, and the guy who sold us the car, he said, "Hey, I'm going to hook you guys up. I'm going to send you to, have you ever heard of Joe's Prime Steak, Seafood, and Stone Crab?" And we said, no, we've never heard of it ever. We don't know where it is. Is it like Smith & Wollensky, or is it like STK or these other steakhouses? He goes, this is by far the best steakhouse in Vegas.
Right.
Hands down. And not very many people know about it. So we said, okay. He goes, I'm going to make you a reservation. I'm tight with the manager.
For anyone who doesn't know, Vegas very much operates like it's like in the 60s and the 50s where it's like, I know a guy, I'll get you in.
I got a guy.
And that happens all the time. So he's like, I've got you guys, and let me make some calls.
He goes, I'll get you. You can't ever get into this place.
All right.
So we're like, sweet, this is cool. So we show up, and the guy, the maitre d', goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. We're like, what?
There's no reservation.
But the manager's name is this. I have no idea who this is. Yeah. We don't have a manager here by this name. We're like, what? Yeah, we have no idea what's going on.
Right.
You're not on the reservations. There's no manager here by this name. I was like, oh. He goes, but I'll tell you what, we're going to get you in. So he gets us in, and we had the most phenomenal dinner ever. So we've been telling Panda, we're like, we need to take you to this place. Mm-hmm. It's at the Forum Shops in Caesars. We actually shot a Ronin TV episode. We actually filmed the dinner.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So that everybody can know. Yep. But here's my question for you, Greg. Did it live up to our hype?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried going in because, sometimes when something gets so hyped up and you try it, it's still good, but it just doesn't hit you like, okay, well... Right. It was good, but you guys kind of exaggerate that a little bit.
It's like an impossibly high standard that nothing
exactly
can meet.
Right.
But this lived up to the hype and went beyond the hype for me.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there we go.
The food, first of all, was great. The waiters are all wearing bow ties, so I felt super. I felt bougie in there, man.
Right. And you should have. It's a very bougie place.
And then I had like the strongest old fashions I've ever had in there.
Which I actually got on. I was recording when you took your first drink.
Oh my God, dude.
It's awesome. Vegas, man. The drinks are a lot different in Vegas, Panda.
Right. A lot different. Yes, they are.
Okay, so Shannon has made Tame, my awesome wife, Shannon, who, by the way, is working out with Mark Wahlberg again. This is it's becoming a thing.
Yeah.
They've become fast friends, apparently. So Shannon said this is the best steak she's ever eaten in her life. In fact, she says this is the best thing she's ever eaten in her life.
Oh, wow.
So would you agree with that, Greg?
Well, for me, it's not the best thing I've ever eaten in my life, but it is certainly up in like the top 3. I would say.
Oh, is that right?
That's pretty good.
Okay. I would assume the best things you've ever eaten in life came from Greece, like while you were in Greece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you could say it's the best thing you've ever eaten in the States.
Hey, I would say that is it. Yeah, best thing I've ever eaten in the United States. That would have to be it.
We'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got Joe's, and that was kind of how we kicked off our weekend. we went to Joe's and we went and wandered around Vegas, and we got dressed up. And we also went, I did something for the very first time. Chandler's done this a bunch. Greg and I have never done this before.
Right.
Okay.
We went to the Flamingo.
Oh, yeah.
Doing some old school Vegas.
Flamingo. I've never gone to the Flamingo before. Never. It was the second sign I ever saw when I woke up in my parents' truck when we were traveling to Disneyland. The first sign I saw was the Stardust. And from that moment, seeing the Stardust sign, I was like, Vegas is like the coolest place ever. And I've always thought that.
Yeah.
So the second sign I saw was the Flamingo. I always thought the Flamingo was like the second most beautiful sign on the Strip. But I'd never actually been there. So Panda wanted to go. We've never gone before. It's kind of old school Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
Really old school. For people who don't know, it was built by Bugsy Siegel.
Yes.
Which is a renowned mob guy, and Meyer Lansky. So
two mob guys.
Very much has its ties with the mob. And the original building isn't there, but it's still considered the oldest hotel on the Strip, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so we went in there, and it was very swanky. You could kind of smell the old kind of muskiness in the air.
Vegas.
Oh, it was
old
amazing.
Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a steakhouse. Speaking of steakhouses, in there called Bugsy and Meyer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel. And we had a blast. I was really surprised at how fun it was.
Oh yeah, there's mirrors everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
And tropical carpet, and it was pink. The whole building is lit up in pink neon.
Yes,
it was the greatest, man. It was so much fun.
You guys have to follow me. I'm like, there's like this weird kind of back side door, and it almost looks like it's like a two-way mirror. And I'm like, no, you have to walk through this. And you guys are like, no, this is weird. I'm like, no, trust me. And you walk through, and there's all these like beautiful palm trees in like this walkway, and there's flamingos, like actual flamingos, just chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get to walk through, and it was very kind of swinky and old school, which I loved.
Very much an Ocean's 11, Miami Vice kind of vibe. Yeah.
Well, and what's always kind of made me want to go in there too, because some of my favorite like neon signs are right there at the Flamingo, because I dig that kind of that old pink and then the kind of the mint green neon, because that speaks like old school to me. And so I've always wanted to go in there, and damn it if we weren't like the luckiest people when we went in there, because especially for Bishop Shannon.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we didn't know this. Wayne Newton is playing at the Flamingo. So we walk in and there's Wayne Newton signs everywhere. We're like, this is so badass. I can't believe we're in here. And then we see Piff. Piff is performing. Now, if you don't know, I don't know if people, I think he was on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
He's a British guy. He calls himself Piff the Magic Dragon. And he's this short little British dude, and he wears this dragon costume. It looks like dragon jammies.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Christmas Story, the bunny jammies.
It's like Ralphie.
It's a dragon.
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a dragon.
Right.
It's a onesie, and it's kind of jammies, and he's got this dog called Mr. Piffles. And he does magic, but it's really stupid, funny magic. And Shannon is the biggest fan ever of Piff. She loves Piff, and she's wanted to go see the show forever. She didn't know that he was playing at the Flamingo. We go walking in, and again, it's on Ronin TV. This will be a Ronin TV episode, but she got to meet Piff, and it was just an accident. Like, we just walked up on him standing there in his dragon onesie.
And he has his dog in a dragon costume as well.
Yeah, Mr. Piffles
is in a costume.
and Shannon was just beside herself. It was a lot of fun. So that's just like, we're just rolling through some of the amazing things we did. We did so much fun stuff in Vegas, and we filmed all of it.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be on Ronin TV. Speaking of Ronin TV, we want to make a quick announcement.
This is
before
big.
we move on to the concert.
Yeah.
This is something that you have all been asking for a very long time. And for whatever reason, we haven't gotten around to do it, because there's a lot that goes into it, and we've figured out a way that we can make it happen. So starting with this episode.
Yep.
This episode that you're hearing now, not only can you hear it on Spotify and on Apple Music and Amazon, you can hear it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you can find podcasts. Yeah.
You can hear anywhere you've got podcasts, you can hear Radio Ronin, but we're also putting Radio Ronin on YouTube.
Yes!
So a lot of you have asked for this. Woo! Lots and lots of you have asked for this, and here's the way this is going to work out. To start things off, we're just going to start posting the episodes. There's going to be some graphics, and there's going to be different stories. Like when we do Headline D&D, you'll actually see the stories and things like that. There will be cameras eventually. We're working on that right now. So you'll be able to go to Radio Ronin TV. It's just Ronin TV.
Yep.
And there will be a Radio Ronin playlist in Ronin TV where you could just go listen to Radio Ronin. So if it's easier for you to listen via YouTube, I know a lot of you have asked for this. You can now do that. that.
Oh man, I can't wait to have cameras and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is going to be so cool.
We're going to start putting that together. For the first few episodes, it's just going to be I don't want to say it's just.
Yeah.
It's going to be without cameras. There's going to be graphics, and there's going to be other stuff there to make it viewable.
Right.
But for the most part, you can listen to Radio Ronin through YouTube because so many of you have asked for it. We said, okay, let's finally go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I'm
So
excited.
starting with this episode, it is now on YouTube. You can go listen there too.
So go subscribe to Ronin TV if you haven't already. Because now's a perfect time to.
Go subscribe to Ronin TV.
Yeah.
That way you'll get notified every single time we have a new TV episode or we have a new Radio Ronin episode available for you. Will the bonus episodes be on YouTube? No.
Yeah, no.
They won't.
No.
They'll still only stay on Patreon. So starting now with this episode, again, go subscribe. You can listen to Radio Ronin on YouTube.
Yes!
All right, so now we got that. The concert, by the way, the Flamingo, Joe's, all this stuff is all going to be on Ronin TV in the coming days. All of it's going to show up. So here's why there was a Ronin invasion this weekend in Las Vegas. There's a couple of reasons. Reason number one is Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett.
Oh,
the
man.
biggest tour in the country happening right now. Their last show was at Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. And it was on Friday night.
Yep.
And or was it Saturday?
Friday night.
Friday night.
The days are like, what day is it? It's Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Everything just blends together at this point.
So I'm still like, my voice is still gone from this thing. We had so much fun. We had so many people. We went to Sickies, first of all.
Oh yeah.
We went with a whole bunch of. I want to give a big shout out, if I can, to everybody who came to Sickies. That's Dustin Hardcastle.
Yeah, Mindy Hardcastle.
Yep. We had Steven Spank Murray, his family. Dean, thank you, Dean, for showing up. We had
Skyla.
Yeah. Skylar showed up.
Skylar's mom Viv showed up.
Viv Mortensen showed up. We had
Jim.
Paul. We had Jim.
Adam
we
and
had
Andrea.
Justin. Adam and Andrea. We had a ton of people show up at Sickies. Thank you to everybody who showed up. But there were a lot of people who were trying to get to Sickies too. So we had Shannon West,
Ash.
and we had we had a bunch of people. So there were like two waves of people, by the way, that went to Sickies. So we had the first one when we were there, and then there was the people that were, because of the second thing. Imagine Dragons is also in town this weekend. And apparently Imagine Dragons was packed. That stadium was packed. Allegiant Stadium was packed with people. Why $16 tickets?
I was going to say they panicked and dropped the tickets to $16.
We found out yesterday. It was like they dropped the price to $16 and everybody showed up.
Packed house,
hell, we were thinking about showing
Honestly.
up at $16 tickets.
Right.
And so that show apparently went off great as well. So we're gonna talk to Shannon West about that, and we'll have an update for you on the next show.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so we went to Allegiant Stadium to see Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. And so did Ash, so did Steven Spank Murray. We had so many people that were there. Tons and tons of people. Tons of Ronin showed up. And I have Spank was kind enough to send over his review of the concert.
So people who don't know, Spank is very much, he's a music historian like all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm going to give like a real honest review to you guys. And it's big. It's awesome.
So he's one of our goblins. His name's Steve Murray. And he goes back to KJQ. So he goes all the way back to the KJQ X96, the end days. And he was there, and he was kind enough to, by the way, Adam and Andrea were like front row.
Yeah,
and had great seats. Spank was down on the floor as well. We were not. We were elevated because we wanted to be. We wanted to be elevated and somewhat back so that we could film everything.
Well, you don't want just to see heads. Do you know what I mean? And,
we wanted to be able to get the whole scope of the concert,
right?
And so we could put it on Ronin TV.
Yeah, and because some of us are old men, unlike Chandler, who's young and spry still. We need to sit down every so often, so we don't want to have to stand the entire show.
Right.
So. Okay, so here's Spank's. I've got Spank's review.
Okay, awesome.
And I told him, I said, I'm going to read your review because it's very clear, it's very concise, and I think this will be beneficial for people.
Okay, awesome.
It's very long in text, but it goes very, very quickly. So this is Spank. Spank says, my show wrap-up. Joan Jett caught the end of the last song decent, not enough to judge. Now that's problem number one because it took forever to get through security.
It really did.
It took us almost 2 hours to get through security.
This is one of the weird things. Like with other shows I've been to, they usually open doors like an hour to an hour and a half before the opening act starts.
Yeah.
They open the doors 30 minutes before the opening act starts.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, there's no way in hell you're getting through security that quick.
Yeah, so there's an opening band called Classless Act. Everybody listen to us.
I listened to their album last night. Holy crap.
Classless Act is insane.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Everybody go follow them. Everybody go get them on Spotify right now. Classless Act opened up the show. We missed them, but everybody's talking about how amazing they are.
They're a bunch of like 20-year-old kids and they play 80s hair metal, but it's all original stuff. And they have like Vince Neil sing on some of their songs, and they're getting a lot of backing from big names. So please go check them out. They're awesome.
They look like mall punk kids. They look like kind of almost like I don't know. They kind of reminded me of like Taking Back Sunday or one of those bands.
Yeah, like All Time Low or We the
All
Kings
Time
kind
Low
of
or
thing.
something like that. But they're this kind of 80s sounding rock. They've got an 80s rock sound and they're amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we didn't get to see Classless Act. Neither did Spank. Joan Jett, he caught the end of the last song. Joan Jett was good. What'd you think?
Yeah,
I thought she was great.
Yeah, like she sounded great. We caught maybe like the last 5 songs of her set.
Right.
Which, of course, most of them were the hits. Weirdly enough, she did like a ballady kind of slow acoustic song.
Yeah,
between I Hate Myself for Loving You and I Love Rock and Roll. And it was just a bizarre spot to put that song.
And it was acoustic. It was a ballad, and then she got mad because everybody sat down.
Well, no, she's like, this is from our new album. What do you guys think of the new album? And no one cheered. And she goes, well, I guess we're not in the right venue for this. I'm like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, good
play
call.
The hits. Yeah,
you're right.
It's like everyone hates this.
Okay, so Joan Jett, she was great. I thought she was great.
Yeah, sounded really good. Yeah.
Okay, so Spank says Joan Jett good. I caught the end of the last song. I can't review. Poison. This is Spank's review of Poison.
Okay.
As good as expected, Bret Michaels has made it back and has really worked on his vocal range. Sounded great. Ricky Rocket looked healthy and his rhythm was spot on. Ricky's a drummer. He is an oral cancer survivor. This guy went through 9 rounds of chemo,
and 27 rounds of radiation.
27 rounds of radiation and had under a 10% chance to live and survive.
This is in 2015, so recently.
Yeah. So this is the drummer for Poison. Sounded great. He said, so Ricky looked healthy and his rhythm was spot on. Now for CC DeVille. Damn, he's good.
Oh, yes.
Loved the extra runs added. Loved the eruption tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Chunga, I noticed chalk on his left hand.
Oh, yeah.
What's that about? Is it? What's the purpose here? So I told Chandler this story a while ago. I got to play a couple of CC's guitars. This is years ago. And when I picked them up, they were covered in chalk. And I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. And I noticed he chalks his hands like a gymnast. Mm-hmm. And I asked him about it. There's chalk everywhere. And I said, what is this? And he goes, yeah, I chalk my hands. I have sweaty hands. Mm-hmm. So the chalk makes the guitar more slick for him. Rather than having his sweaty hands kind of gum up the neck.
Yeah. How crazy. He's the only guy I've ever seen.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And Spank noticed it during his guitar solo. You could see his hands had chalk on.
Covered in chalk.
That's what Spank, that's what that's for. Some people have sweaty hands. He has sweaty hands and he uses the chalk to kind of make everything more.
So he can be fast.
So he can be faster.
Yeah.
Let's see, Def Leppard. This is Spank's review of Def Leppard. Every time I see Def Leppard, they bring it. Damn, they are tight. Joe Elliott has worked hard on his voice. He sounds incredible. Tone, lung capacity, all on point. He was fantastic. Let's see, on Photograph and Love Bites, he was insanely strong, was able to hold the high notes throughout, which is great for his age.
Oh, yeah.
Rick Allen, the drummer. Rick Allen is amazing, and it's hard to tell that he's missing an arm.
Yeah,
he has 75% of his body in his other appendage. I don't know what he was saying there. I didn't quite understand it, but the guy's got no arm.
Yeah,
he did a drum solo. It was fantastic.
It was really cool.
Dude, that drum solo was badass.
Yeah. Phil Collin, the guitar player, could shred. I'm blown away at every show. His sustain, his swells, his thumb pick hits pinch harmonics is what that is.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic. Now to Vivian Campbell. We call him Viv. He's been on the morning show a bunch. Viv, formerly of Dio, Whitesnake, Thin Lizzy, former session guy. He was a hired gun. He's up there with Steve Vai and Jeff Beck and Yngwie Malmsteen, according to Spank. He says he was fantastic. They were all solid. They are solid every show, every time. And they were amazing. It's the first time I haven't ever seen Def Leppard before.
Yeah,
that was the first time I'd seen them. They were incredible. And again, this will all be on Ronin TV.
Oh, yeah.
All of it.
But it was crazy for me because, like, Def Leppard, they seem so polished compared to everyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you kind of have, like, the Spinal Tap moments of, like, Poison or Motley Crue, which we'll get to, and things like that. And then Def Leppard comes out, and it's like, they're just perfect. They didn't miss a single note. None of them did. And the wall of sound that hit me when that, they did a big curtain drop, and I was just I nearly cried. It was the coolest thing ever.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't catch any Spinal Tap moments of Poison, but Motley Crue.
No, I'm just meaning in like history. That's kind of how you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then there's
Okay,
Def Leppard, and they're just perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very polished.
And with Def Leppard's set, like that's been probably one of my favorite light shows, and even the video effects they had up on the screens while they're filming the band so that you can see them.
Yeah,
I was blown away by that stuff as well. So visually, it was amazing.
It was. They had these LED walls, and certainly no stranger to Chandler and I doing DJ shows.
Oh, yeah.
There's always LED walls behind you. These were like 8K, just ridiculous. They almost looked 3D.
You're like 100 feet
How
tall
cool is
kind
this?
of thing. Yeah,
and they were so huge. Def Leppard did something really cool when they played. I can't remember what song they played, but they showed news clippings on the LED walls, and it's like Def Leppard is washed up.
Yeah.
Def Leppard, why? They're senior citizens. Why are they even continuing? There was all this stuff while they started playing. It was all this negative press all over the LED walls, which I was floored. I thought that was so cool that they did that.
How badass is that?
But as the song progressed, the headline switched and it talked about the tour, and then there was all this stuff about the resurgence of hair metal
in 2022, like this
2022
year.
The resurgence of hair metal. You guys have got to understand something. Please, if you haven't seen the show, please hear this. This was Allegiant Stadium, which is one of the top stadiums in the entire country. It is virtually sold out. There are so many people. You'll see it on Ronin TV.
Oh yeah.
And I've been to Monsters of Rock. I've been to thousands of shows, as Greg has. The vibe in that place was nuts. It was so exciting, and there was so much energy. People were just on their feet. Every single person in there was on their feet singing at the top of their lungs. I have never seen anything like this.
And it didn't matter, too, how old or how young you were. Everybody was singing along, like when Def Leppard's doing Pour Some Sugar on Me, and just hearing, I mean, the crowd was almost loud enough to drown out the sound system, because that's how loud everybody was singing along to that.
Yeah.
Well, and the fun thing was like there was a lot of people around us that were younger than me, like a lot of like high school kids and things like that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch them just to see like how well they knew all the songs. They knew every word to every song, and I'm like, see, we called it. This music is back.
I hope I filmed these guys. We had a whole row of kids immediately behind us, and they were in studded Levi jackets with like The Damned and Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
they had Doc Martens on. They had safety pins. They had big mohawks,
pink mohawks,
full blown like 70s and 80s punk rock kind of kids, and they were just dancing like it was so much fun to watch these guys. I was expecting a totally old crowd.
Yeah, same here.
And the age range was from really old to young kids. There were a lot of really young kids there, and they all knew every word. And I mean this. I know it sounds really overdramatic. I've never ever seen anything like this ever.
Yeah.
In all my years of working in the industry, and all my years of going to concerts and being the stage announcer and doing free shows and doing my own DJ performances, Chandler doing his own performances, I haven't ever seen anything like this. It was mental, and it was so much fun. And we've captured a lot of it for Ronin TV. There's one slight problem with the video with Ronin TV. I couldn't get a camera in. I had to film it on my phone for obvious reasons.
The security was very tight at Allegiant.
So I've got an S22 Ultra, which is an amazing camera. It's great, and the audio, the video looks just incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one small problem, and you'll when you go watch it, hopefully you'll choose to go watch this episode. I'm singing at the top of my lungs, and I didn't think the camera would. I didn't think the camera would pick it up. So I'm just going to put it out there.
You're singing loud.
I am singing at the top of my lungs. But here's the best part of this. I was mortified when I realized, oh my gosh, you can hear me. So Chandler and I went back and listened to it. And I thought it was going to be something like, because it's so loud and I can't hear myself singing, it was going to be something like, "Pour some sugar on me." 40 grand. That's what I thought it was going to.
Right.
It actually sounds all right.
You did good.
It's Chunga karaoke, and I was on pitch. I'm on key, so I was like, oh my gosh, all these episodes are going to be ruined. No, they're actually fine, but you're just going to hear me singing all throughout. Chandler, on the other hand, you'll hear a little bit.
I didn't do so hot. It's okay. I tried my best, but the funny thing is, like, you can hear me because, again, a lot of this music is still very new to me, right? And so I don't know every word to every song, so it's like, pour some sugar on me, and you hear me like kind of just mumble through half the damn song because I don't know the lyrics yet, and then like, put some sugar on me, and I pick it back up halfway through, so it's fun. It was a lot of fun.
I hope everybody wants to go watch this.
We're just putting it up,
Just know that the light shows and the energy was something that was the only comparative I could probably create would maybe be Queen in Wembley Stadium.
Okay.
Or Live Aid or something like that, because that energy was just nuts.
Yeah. So many lasers.
We can talk and talk and talk. We have a great big show. Just know this. All this is coming out on Ronin TV. You'll be able to see what we saw. You'll be able to see everything. Like we said, we got seats kind of in the back. It was kind of off to the side and in the back. There were a couple of reasons for this. We wanted to be able to see everything, and we wanted to be able to see the whole light show and get see what the fans were seeing, not just a bunch of heads.
Right.
But you'll also be able to. Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I was also going to say, and also we didn't want to pay $800 per ticket.
There was also
there's that part
so
too.
that was
if we
a
would have
factor.
gone one section over, I think the price jumped. I think
over $100 per ticket.
Yeah, over $100 per ticket,
dude,
and we were like 6 feet over.
The next section over, it was going to end up. Because we paid a little over $200 for each one of our tickets. The next section over, $600 per ticket.
Oh, is that right? So Chandler was wrong. So it jumps to like $400 a ticket.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
And can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Motley Crue sucked.
Oh, we forgot to even talk about Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I forgot.
We kind of like blocked them out of our memory.
I don't know. Here was the review of the concert the next morning after Motley Crue. Motley Crue goes out exactly how they should have gone out. A total mess.
It was a nightmare.
We were a half hour in and we all left.
Well,
Motley Crue sucked.
Yeah, and
they were terrible.
It's extremely disappointing for me because I've been a Motley Crue fan for a really long time.
Yeah, me too.
And even the last time that I had seen them, which was several years ago, that set wasn't even a very good one because that's when Vince was starting to have issues with stamina as far as his vocals go, Right. And then this time, it wasn't just Vince, but the band was completely out of sync. Everything like mixed guitar. You could also hear Nikki Sixx being out of sync with Tommy Lee, and it was just a mess, and it didn't sound very good. The sound was pretty terrible, and then Vince, his vocals. Oh, poor Vince. I love the guy, but his vocals were awful.
So I do have Spank's review of Motley Crue. He did the same thing. So he reviews Poison, he reviews Def Leppard, and he goes, amazing concert, the end. And then he comes back and he goes, oh, wait, Motley Crue. They were definitely the number 4 band. I would say they were probably the number 5 band behind Class.
Honestly, I'm with you on that, yeah.
Vince was off count, off key, struggling to even breathe. He was awful. Nikki Sixx was pretty good. Mick Mars played fantastic. I was impressed he made it through standing the entire show because he's in such poor health.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee, his drums were great, and his drums were great.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, but no one was in sync. It was a total shit show, and we decided to leave about a half hour in.
Yeah,
we were all done, and we went and we looked over at our row with all the punk rock kids and everybody that was sitting in our row. We turned to our right, and our whole section was pretty much empty. We didn't realize this, but everyone had just gotten up and left.
So here's the thing. It was crazy because they were doing like the announcements. They had like an MC out there and talking about like, who's ready for Motley Crue? And the cheers for Motley Crue were a lot louder than any of the other bands.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's a Motley Crue crowd. It's a Motley Crue crowd. Let's see what happens here. And so we leave halfway or like 30 minutes into their 2-hour set, right? Yeah, we're out. And so we're walking through. And I'd probably say, 80-90% of the people that
Motley Crue shirts.
Everyone was like, that was
Everybody was leaving mad.
Well, everyone was just pissed.
And I think we chose the right time to leave believe, because it was at that point where Tommy Lee is known for doing the boob cam, where he likes to get ladies in the crowd to flash them.
To flash the boob cam. And then it goes up on those 8K LED
exactly.
things.
100 foot tall.
Everybody can see the boobies like they're 15, right?
Well, this time he decided that he wanted to include the fellas, so he was encouraging the guys to show their dicks on the screen. And so that's right.
And it happened.
Yeah. And that's right as we're like leaving. Like, we chose to leave just a little bit before that. And that's when he's encouraging, hey, who's got the balls to come up and show us your dick?
So I turned around, unfortunately. We were walking up the stairs and I heard somebody laugh, and I turned around just to see some short, fat little Mexican dude showing his tiny chode on a 100-foot 8K LED wall. And I was like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm officially not having fun at the Motley Crue show.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing, we talked about this a lot, where it's like, you go to a Motley Crue show, you expect all these antics, right?
Right.
And so it's like, if you're going to do all this and be that wild and drop the F-bomb like every other word when you're talking to the crowd and stuff like that, you have to play good. Do you know what I mean?
Otherwise you're just clowns.
You just look like a douche.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm happy that I could say, like, hey, I saw Motley Crue, but I'm like, I only needed like 4 songs. I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah. So this is my hot take, Panda. Let's see what you think about this. And this is coming from a fan. This is coming from a guy who knows Vince Neil very well. And I feel kind of bad saying this, but this is my hot take on Motley Crue's entire career. They're 4 clowns who should have never made it as far as they did. They were the benefactors of really good timing in an era when this music was highly coveted. They should not be making music. They should not be touring. They should not be together. A couple of them should be in prison, and the rest of them should probably be working at a Chipotle somewhere. These guys suck. I'm sorry.
It was bad.
I can't sugarcoat this. Motley Crue was shit. They were absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll say this about them is they should have retired the first time of their 4 retirement tours. You know, they should have called it then, because that's when they were still on top, when they were still good.
Yeah.
And then
it was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
You think about like Home Sweet Home or Kickstart My Heart or Dr. Feelgood. They had a lot of great songs.
Oh, Girls. Yeah.
I didn't hear that at all at the show. You know, I just didn't. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, and I found it interesting that they were playing a lot of stuff off of their first album during the show, like Live Wire.
I can't figure that out. Yeah.
Well,
and then they did a bunch of random covers, and Vince Neil kept forgetting the lyrics to the covers. Do you know what I mean? And so everyone was just like, what the hell is this, man? Like, what's going on?
I'm actually familiar with a lot of the covers that they did do during the show.
Yeah, like Anarchy in the UK and Smoking in the Boys Room.
Smoking in the Boys Room, but yeah, it was just one of those things, and I found it kind of funny because, you know, once I got back to the Luxor, I mean, and like you said, we left pretty early on in the show, and as I'm walking through the Luxor to go to my room, I'm seeing throngs of people wearing their Motley Crue shirts coming in. I'm like, they all left early too.
Everybody did. There was a procession of people just streaming out of that venue on our way out, which is okay. I'm bummed that I missed the end of the show because apparently what they did at the after Motley Crue played, they brought everybody and their kids.
Yeah.
So Cece's out there with his kids.
So was Rocket.
Rocket's out there with his kids. Phil Collin of Def Leppard has lived in Orange County for 30 years. People may not know this, but Phil lives in Orange County. And all those guys came out, and they all brought their families out, and they all got to take a bow. And it was cool. It was apparently a very cool moment, but we were long gone.
Yeah,
we were out at that point, which is too bad.
I was probably in bed by that point.
Yeah, you probably were, actually. So anyway, that's what happened at the show. Imagine Dragons we didn't go see. I'm sure you're shocked, but I am excited to talk to Shannon and find out what she thought of this.
Yeah.
And Madison, find out what she thought of this tonight when we go to dinner.
Awesome.
And get her take, and we'll have that on the next show.
Cool. There we go.
Imagine Dragons was like.
Great.
Okay, so listen, we should probably get the show started. We should probably get the show going here. We have a lot of stuff. We've got Headline D&D coming up. We also have, we've got Greg's first Halloween movie of the season.
Hey-oh, there we go.
It officially begins. Greg's first Halloween movie. This is going to be awesome. And we're going to talk about the Queen. We would be remiss not to talk about the Queen. Hopefully we can get Chris online.
I just got a text that Chris has made it back.
We can have Chris on the show.
Travel, so we can have him on. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And we have a Chunga poll coming up.
There we go.
All right, I'll tell you what. So here's the deal. We've got so much going on today. There's so much happening in the show. We're going to cut Headline D&D.
Yeah.
It'll be back next week. I hate doing it. It's rare, but there's just so much other stuff. And with Chris in England, we're going to want to spend some time with him.
It's the super show.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff, but we still have the Chunga poll coming up and Greg's first Halloween movie. Woo-hoo! So, big stuff. Before we do that, we want to say thank you to our amazing Radio Ronin producers, our Patreon producers. Every single one of these guys is an official producer of the show.
Yeah.
They can use it as a job reference, and they have. They can put it on their LinkedIn profile, and they have. And you can also put it on your resume, and we fully back it up because you are an official producer of the show. We always encourage everyone, whether you're a Patreon member or not, to, if you think there's something we should talk about, let us know. It's your show, after all. We always want to know what you want to hear us talk about. Okay. So if you do want to send something in, you just send it to Chandler at RadioRonin.com. That's where, or you can send it to Chunga at RadioRonin.com or Greg with 2 G's.
Yes.
Same deal. You can send it to any of us. If you are a Radio Ronin producer, you get precedence. Yeah. You get priority.
Hey, you're a producer of the show. That's what happens.
So your stuff gets looked at and acknowledged first. That's just kind of the way it goes. Now, if you're not a Patreon member and you send something in, does that mean we ignore you? Hell no. No, absolutely not. That's just... I'm sure you guys get it. I'm sure you understand it. All right. So big thank you. By the way, everyone is at $20 a month until I say otherwise. Okay.
All right.
AccentDoors.co. Don't let the big box stores charge you more for what's in style. Come see us and let us save you money. $20 a month, of course.
Yeah.
Angela Platts. Thank you. Ash Jazz. This is Ash. It's Ash. Okay. Ash. Well, he's doing his Elvis thing.
Okay.
I think we might need like a Motley Crue thing in there or something for Ash.
Oh, it would be Ash mumbling Jenkins. And forgetting lyrics. That's what it'd be.
Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the... Okay. There you go, Ash. Thank you, Ash. Brian and Angela Bass, also $20 a month. CastlePhotoArt.com. Infringing on Gavin Holmgren's good name with a blatant campaign of false advertising. That's Castle.
That was great.
Nice.
Chaz Hill. Thank you. Chaz Hip. Thank you very much. Gavin Holmgren. Sun bad. Sun scary.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
What is that?
That's Howie from Benchwarmers.
Yeah.
Right there.
Great one.
I want the last check I write to bounce.
There we go.
Incurable adventurer. Mad. Reckless. Tried everything. Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Anybody know what that is?
I don't know that one.
No idea.
I'm trying to think.
Do you?
Incurable adventurer. Mad. Reckless. Tried everything. I think we can look it up after today.
Okay, next time.
Show,
yeah,
absolutely.
okay, perfect.
Jared Holmgren. Thanks, man. Are onions on? What about pumpkins? Are pumpkins on?
Have you seen all the work they're doing with they're lifting the onions now?
Are they really?
I don't know what that means.
They're lifting the onions.
Lifting the onions is the next
that means
process.
Pulling them out of the dirt.
Yeah.
Is what that means.
That's so cool to me.
Are onions in the dirt? I think they are. Or do they grow like? Are they like apples?
I don't know. There's not an onion tree.
Yeah, I believe they're in the dirt.
Jared? They're in the dirt. Jared, we don't know. Right. Thank God for the Holmgrens, or we'd all starve to death. Right. Jeff Baird of JollyHolidayShows.com. Thank you, Jeff. Jennifer Stoddard, also $20 a month. Jennifer Kilkowski, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Jordan L. Miller. $20 a month. Jeremy, Big Sexy Adams. That's with 3 X's. He also posted on Bad Meme Friday, Sun bad, sun scary.
I love that meme. That's so good.
Just Bob. Thank you, Just Bob. Thank you, sir. Justin and Courtney Bolander. Carl Parkinson and his fashionista wife. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
Christine Davidson. Thank you, Christine. Lady Terry A. Fidley. She's also Scottish, you know. I think
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know if Terry is Scottish. I know Mike is Scottish. Terry, let us know.
He's always rocking his awesome kilt.
Terry A. Finley. Let's see. Marcos Lopez, also Scottish. From the Life Tech and Sundry podcast. He's there in New York. Thank you, Mr. Chill. Max Power, 636 sneezes. I think I'm allergic to bullshit.
I mean, your sneeze count kind of identifies with that.
You must be listening to this show a lot. 636. Nameless Henchman. Thank you, Nameless Henchman.
Yeah.
Shauna Ellman. Thank you, Shauna Ellman. Now, here's the thing. Shauna Ellman.
Yeah. Did you see this?
She went and saw Duran Duran at the Hollywood Bowl.
With Nile Rodgers, too.
with Nile Rodgers.
Yeah.
Shauna Ellman seeing Duran Duran with Nile Rodgers at the Hollywood Bowl. I think that's just about the only thing that could either come close or top what we just saw.
Yeah.
And she posted a picture on her Instagram with a big nagel on
There's a massive
the LED
nagel
wall.
on the LED
and
wall.
a huge fireworks show behind the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, I was like, come on, that's
Nile
so
Rodgers,
cool.
Duran Duran, a massive nagel backdrop, and fireworks going off above the Hollywood Bowl. That's it. Put me in the ground. It's over.
Yeah, right?
Nothing will be that cool.
That's awesome.
Wow. Shauna, you have to let us know how that show was.
Yeah, honestly, send us a message.
I want to know what that show was like.
Yeah.
Nate, I've never seen that. I've never seen anyone drive their garbage to the curb and then bang the hell out of it with a stick.
Man.
I don't know what that quote is.
What is that?
Somebody help us. I don't know any of these. We used to do so good, and now we don't know anything. It's all that we were talking too much shit, I think, is what we were like, we'll own these quotes. No.
Now we're missing like Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison.
Sorry, Nate. I'm really sorry, man. Snooty and Slackjaw's restaurant review. This heat sucks balls. That's Pat and Alicia Rhodes.
I mean, yeah.
Can you argue with it, really?
Yeah.
No.
Poor Panda's like, look how sweaty my arms are. Be like a couple minutes in Vegas.
Poor Panda. Dude.
That's bad.
How did you do with the heat here? It wasn't that much different than Utah right now, right?
Yeah, luckily the temperature has dropped now finally in Utah, but while I was here, it wasn't much different in Utah. And me, I'm just always a sweaty mess anyway because I'm a thicker guy with a lot of body hair, so I'm always drenched in sweat. I have to drink so much water to stay hydrated. It's crazy.
We're all on like our third drinks, and I've got the worst case of cracker mouth ever.
I do too.
Oh no.
It's all the screaming from the console, like my voice is shot.
Just trash.
Yeah.
All right, Tito Delgado of the Unified Fire Department. Thanks, dude.
Tito.
Thank you, Tito. Tracy Wilson. Hey, Tracy. Patrick S. at 2001. He's our first super producer.
Hey-o.
Patrick S. 2001. Thank you. Proud Disney mom, Tanya Budge. I just saw Tanya taking her awesome daughter to the airport so she can go work at Disney World.
Isn't that cool? So she said that her daughter is going to be working the parades and the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Doing events now.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tanya. Nancy Tanner, 2006. Hi, Nancy. Let's see, Tim, the original Bad Bean Friday champion, Hemingway. Vote for me for president of the Radio Ronin Fam Spanish Fork Chapter 2020 a month. Okay, let me just handle this right now. Tim, you are officially the chapter president of the Radio Ronin Spanish Fork Chapter.
Hey, cool.
That's you. And that the Spanish Fork chapter, that includes Springville, Mapleton, and all those little towns, Santaquin. It's all those place where Gary Coleman used to live. All those places down there. You get all of those, Tim. You rule supreme over all of those towns.
It was a
all
close
municipalities.
It's a close election, though. He just barely won. He just barely made it.
Congratulations! Long live the Tim. There you go. Best-selling author Joanna Reeder at 2021 a month. Blissful Shores, Ren and Cambria, blissful. The seagulls and a hawk yells. It's 2021 a month. Thank you, Ren and Cambria. Former opera singer Annie with Sam and Lincoln, 2021 a month. Thanks. Cheddar, Tater Tot, and Norbert. I believe that's Stacy Schreiber in Kentucky.
Yeah, and I believe those are animals. I think Cheddar's some sort of lizard.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, very
which
good.
is awesome.
Gavin D. Holmgren, presiding over the onions. He's at 2022 a month. God, still, my feet are very white, translucent even. Solar Powered Susie. Did I tell you, somebody asked me the other day, they were like, what is the deal with that old guy voice that you guys do?
People don't know who it is.
If you're outside of the state of Utah, you're not going to know.
No.
And if you don't know, you're just going to have to do it. I just can't explain. It would take forever, and I just deal with it.
Just trust us on it.
There's just an old guy in town that we like to make fun of, and we're doing that. Solar Powered Susie. She's at 2022 a month. Susie. Nicole, sit in the sin bin, hail, 2029. I think all Scottish food is based on a dare. So that's Ellen. So I think all Scottish food is based on a dare.
That is a line from something. I think, is it?
So I Married an Axe Murder?
Yeah,
I think it's So I Married an Axe Murder.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I got that one, Ellen. I got a quote.
I thought that was just like, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, I didn't think of it as a movie quote, like haggis, and you're like, ugh.
No, I think it's actually true. I think all Scottish food is based on it.
Pretty nasty. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have a pet named haggis. I don't know why I haven't. I was pulling down 100 big ones a year while you and Satan were chasing Daryl Hannah. $21 a month. Can we look that one up? I think we can look that one up now.
Somebody
look it up.
I'll look that one up.
I was pulling down 100 big ones a year while you and Satan were chasing Daryl Hannah.
All right, I'm Googling this one.
I'm kind of bummed that I don't know that one. Daniel Dean at $21.50 a month. Thank you, Daniel. Not quite normal at $22.10. Vegas or bust. See you on the flip side, baby. That's at 2022. That's Andrea Adair.
Yeah,
and we have had fun with Adam and Andrea this weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Andrea was wearing her swirl rockstar pants to the Def Leppard show, and it was awesome. It was awesome to see. Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Adam, for being so much damn fun to hang out with.
Oh hell yeah,
dude! He's ripped, by the way. Like Adam showed up, and I was like, oh man, like this dude could kick my ass.
He's a martial arts expert.
Yeah,
Adam is.
Yeah, I was scared.
He carries himself like he's a martial arts expert. It's kind of like, I bet in a fight between Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, and Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden?
Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, and Iron Maiden. Adam would win all of them.
Oh yeah,
or maybe that mummy from Iron Maiden.
Oh, no, he could definitely beat the mummy.
He could take the mummy. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Seen on the Small Screen Podcast with Becky and what's his name? Episode 17 is out now. That's $22.23 a month.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you, Becky Star. Thank you very much. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the maniacs, the loonies, the ding-dongs. Some people would say that we're the crazy ones.
Hey, I mean...
That's $24.24 a month.
I have that tattooed on my arm, so
yes,
I like that.
The quote is not exact, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Jerem, chilling in Brazil, thirsted at $24.88, and Joel came up with the best Patreon update in the world, but would just like you to know that his update is just a tribute. I think that's from, is that Hunger Games? I don't know.
Tenacious D.
Joel, it's Tenacious D.
That's what it is.
We've talked about this like 17 times.
Exactly.
I tried to pull up, I was pulling down 100 big ones a year, and while being chased by Daryl Hannah, I accidentally typed in "choded" by Daryl Hannah, and I've been trying to really trying to figure it out over here, and so I switched to chase, and I still can't find it.
You still don't know.
Choded or chased? There's nothing.
We're still stuck.
Let us know.
Well, listen, if you would like to become a Radio Ronin producer and have us totally confused by whatever the hell it is you're saying, and probably get your name wrong, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/Radio Ronin, patreon.com/Radio Ronin. We have another bonus episode coming out soon.
Yeesh.
And a reminder, we are going to be in Utah on the 21st of October.
Woohoo!
The 21st of October. T-shirt meetups to come, a Goblin Ghost Hunt to come. More details at patreon.com.
There we go. All right. Nice and easy.
Okay, so CHUNGA poll. Now this CHUNGA poll, I hope people are going to like this. I don't know. This comes from the fact that while I was filming the concert for Ronin TV, I thought I would be safe because it was so loud in there, just singing at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
That people would be able to watch our video at Radio Ronin and not be totally freaked out because Chunga is singing at the top of his lungs. I didn't know you could hear me.
Well, it's been 2 days and my ears are still ringing. I don't know about you guys, but like my ears are shot from it. Yeah.
And I thought there's no way my phone is going to pick up my singing over the speakers that are blowing straight at the phone.
Yeah.
I'm behind the phone. And so I thought that the speakers blowing right at the phone, everything would be great, and I'd be safe to just sing along and have fun while I was filming. Every word is picked up. You can hear every word that I'm singing.
My favorite's like, okay, come on, CC. Like, Bret Michaels is like introducing him, and here you're like, woo, 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 woo. There's like these very sporadic woos. That's my favorite part. I love it. It was great. I
debated whether or not we were going to actually air these now because I was like, okay, so you've got me just singing along to pretty much everything.
Right.
But then I was like, we did this whole thing in the last show, right? Where it's like, look, you need to be able to dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
You need to be able to just be yourself. You need to be able to just be you in your element. And so I feel like it would be disingenuous of me not to just put that up and say, look, this was us at the concert.
Hey, we're just having fun. Yeah.
Just having a good time. So when you go watch these, you're going to hear yours truly singing at the top of his lungs. And so be it, damn it. I don't care.
That's awesome.
But the thing is, it got me thinking about a CHUNGA poll, like that moment when you're singing away in the car and you look over and somebody's watching you.
Oh, man.
We've all had that moment when you're singing away in the car and you're listening to Radio Ronin and you're laughing your ass off. Something like, we hear about that all the time. You guys, I almost crashed my car because I was laughing so hard.
Right.
Or I was cackling like an idiot in my car and I looked over and somebody was staring at me. Right. So everybody sings in their car like crazy. So here's the Chunga poll for today. What is your favorite song to sing in the car?
Oh, man.
Ooh, boy.
What is your favorite song to sing in the car?
Damn, that's a good one. Okay.
Because everybody has, you can even list a couple. If you have like your top 2 or 3, if you have one, that's great. If you have 3, that's great. Don't go more than 3 because, let's be honest, people aren't going to read it. Right. So just give us your top 3.
Top 3.
And, or 1 or 2 or whatever. I mean, I'm sure you guys get it. So what is your favorite song to sing in the car? Panda, let's start with you today.
Oh,
what do you think,
why are you starting with me? Because I've got a Rolodex in my head of songs to go through right now. Because I sing all the time in the car. All the time.
Okay.
Man.
What you love to sing in the car. Okay, so we'll switch it. I'll let you think. Chandler.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll go with 3, and they're all so different from each other. So,
okay.
Number 1, this is no surprise because I'm gayer from Mayer. Slow Dancing in a Burning Room from John Mayer.
Okay.
That gives me the feels, if I'm...
You're just singing away.
I'm just singing away. I love that one. Number 2 is Nothing But a Good Time from Poison, which also, no surprise.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a fun one. You can just sing it.
Sure.
You're driving fast. It's a summer day. There's nothing better.
Right.
This one may be a surprise. California Love from Snoop and
oh, nice.
If you bump that in your car, and I know every word, and I've played that song as a DJ hundreds if not thousands of times, so I know every word. That's one of the funnest damn songs you can ever sing in a car. And then you roll up to the window and I'm a white dude, I heard roll the windows up, I'm like, oh shit, because everyone just stares at me, but it's a great song. It's so much fun.
When I've occasionally at clubs, not at like the bigger shows, not like the big arena shows, I haven't done it, but you go into that song even when you're doing a house set.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody goes crazy.
Loses their mind.
And I kind of caught myself with the mic on getting everybody to sing it with me. That is like, I'm rapping this entire...
Oh, I've done it. I've done it too.
Entire song live without really realizing, just to get the audience engaged.
I've done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, it's working, so you got to run with it. But so I've got John Mayer, Poison, and then Snoop Dogg all are my 3 choices.
I think those are good choices.
Thank you. Yeah, very different.
I think they're absolutely fantastic choices. Panda, what do you think?
Okay. So, these are probably the last 3 ones that I've probably been singing in my car. So, the first one is going to be "Girl, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away" by Motley Crue.
Which they actually played before we left, and it was the only song that was halfway decent.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that song. That one's so much fun. The next one would be, it's from the band Authority Zero, and it's called "Ah Hell."
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that one. Very good.
Very fun song. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then the probably my top one, because I like to do this one a lot, especially because lately I haven't been loving my job. My big boy job. Yeah. So it's called Saturday Night by Bowling for Soup.
Oh, I love that song.
Those are great. Those are 3 great choices, man.
Good pick, man. Saturday Night is so much fun to sing along with, too, because it's kind of anthemic. And also one of the line is, "Hate my boss, hate this place, wanna shove it in his face." So I'm like raging on those parts.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Okay, so my 3.
Yeah, your turn.
My 3 that I love to sing in the car. Number 1, Panama.
Oh, yeah.
From Van Halen.
Yep.
I love singing that. I don't really know the words, but I just like going, Panama! Well, I just do it at that time.
That was me and Def Leppard. You can hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Chunga.
Just the mumbles.
Chunga, please tell us the truth. Is it because of the part where he talks about reaching down between his legs?
Between my legs, ease the seat back. And I look over and there's a family in a minivan staring at me. No, I love singing that one. There's really 2 Van Halen songs that I'll kind of alternate back when I'm feeling just kind of that way. One is Finish What You Started.
Oh, nice. Oh, great
one.
Unchained?
And no, Panama.
Oh, Panama. Okay.
I love Best of Both Worlds. I love to sing too.
Yeah.
That's a great
songs.
pick.
They're fun Van Halen songs to sing. So I would go with Panama, and I also love singing September from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Nice. I know. I realize I know every word. And then if I had to go with number 3, it would probably be Oh man, because I'm kind of like Greg. I've got a whole laundry list. I would probably say "Wanted, Dead or Alive" from Bon Jovi.
Oh, that was great.
That's like I don't know. There's a lot of alternative songs. "Over My Head" from the Fray. I love that song. I love singing that song. Yeah, there's a bunch of alternative songs.
Well,
just glad none of them are Wonderwall.
Chunga, I actually we had a little bit of a sing along to "Wanted, Dead or Alive" in your car when we were heading to the venue.
Yeah, we did.
And I hate to say it sounded really good.
And we were like belting, like just full blown.
It's weird, man. I was listening to everybody sing. I was like, oh, this actually sounds pretty good. And what I didn't realize, like I said, filming the concert for Ronin TV, I knew every word of some of those Def Leppard songs and didn't realize I did until I was listening back to it. I was like,
what?
Hey.
I'm a bigger fan than I realized.
That sounds all right.
Yeah.
Now, there was a point when everybody was singing Joan Jett, because it was they were having this big kind of epic moment with Joan Jett where they're doing "I Love Rock and Roll," and it was really funny in the arena because everybody go, "I love rock and roll, put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll," and then the whole thing
was silent.
Everybody like
no one knew the other part.
The worst. It was everybody around us was dying,
and then everyone just started laughing. Funny. It was like an applause really kicked in because everyone's like, "Oh hell!"
So that is your Chunga poll today. What song do you love to sing in your car? You could do one. I don't know. I don't even know if my 3 are accurate. Can I be honest with you?
Oh, I think they are.
But we did have to sing along with "Wanted, Dead or Alive." That's why I was going.
September is definitely accurate. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So I would say pick between 1 and 3.
There you go.
All right, cool. And go to our usuals, the Ronin Fan Facebook page, the regular Radio Ronin Facebook page, or any of our individual social media accounts. You can go to any of those, and you're good to go.
Awesome.
So anyway, that's your Chunga poll. We'll have your answers on the next show.
I can't wait.
Okay, so he is standing by right now. He has been able to make it to his house in England.
He's patiently waiting.
The poor guy has had a fit throwing hell ride today. He's been in a 4-hour traffic jam trying to get from Scotland to England.
Oh man,
it's been nuts.
That's awful.
Yeah, the poor guy. So why he's even doing this, I don't know. But he's been kind enough to hang out with us for a little bit and talk about the Queen.
Yeah.
And talk about what he's doing in England. It's our favorite English muffin, Chris the Brit 2. Hello, mate.
Hello, boys. How's it going?
Hey! It's our favorite English muffin, Chris 2. Yeah! So, Chris, we scrambled you to England. Let's just tell a good lie. We scrambled you to England upon news of the death of the Queen. No, he was already there.
Yeah,
he was already there. Family. Yeah, you were already there. I noticed you're wearing your Shelby Museum shirt, mate.
I am wearing my Shelby Museum. Yeah,
it looks really good, man.
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of been down to the last of my t-shirts. I've been here for a week and. Laundry facilities have been naught, so therefore the underpants have been turned inside out and the socks are kind of walking off on their own and the case is getting a bit stinky.
So I'm guessing, how's the weather been? It's been very sticky. We had a haboob and it's been sticky.
Yeah, right?
How's it been in England?
So when I arrived, my parents complained about it's been the hottest summer ever, it's so dry, and I have seen nothing but rain for only 7 days. And believe it or not, the nicest place it was Scotland. I had sunshine.
Wow.
It was in the 70s. It was beautiful.
Wow. Huh. So I'm jealous. Chandler is jealous.
Super jealous, yeah.
You went to the motherland, and the pictures you sent looked phenomenal. It looked so cool.
It's a place called Stranraer, which is in Galloway, which is kind of... It's the lowlands of Scotland, if anybody knows. There's highlands, there's midlands, and there's lowlands. So I was in the lowlands of Scotland in a place called Stranraer, which is in the county of Galloway. And I have some really good friends who live up there. And a good friend of mine got married during COVID, and him and his wife and his 3 stepkids came down to come see me.
Oh, very nice. Well, good.
Nice.
That's cool. So,
yeah.
All right. So the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
This was weird. I didn't know this, but Chandler and I were the ones that broke the news to you that the Queen had died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hadn't heard it in England.
No, I literally was at a pub actually, having a pint with a friend. Yeah. And I got a text and Chandler's like, Queen's dead. And I'm like, what? Then the next about 30 seconds later, it was on all the TVs. Everybody stopped what they were doing. Everything went quiet. It was eerie.
Yeah.
Just a very strange feeling all of a sudden.
So
wow.
did I heard this that and I heard that this happened at your pub. Maybe I heard it wrong. That everybody went outside and started singing "God Save the Queen" when that happened.
It didn't happen at the pub I was at, but we did hear it. If you throw stone in the UK, you're going to find a pub that could hear it. But what happened was there was a couple of guys who were big, strapping guys, probably in the 60s. Just, once they played the national anthem, they just started to tear up and, started to cry. They were ex-servicemen, they were ex-army guys, and they kind of really, they really teared up. It's just been a really emotional few days for the country.
So we have tons and tons of listeners in the UK. And for those of you that are listening in the UK, you're listening to this now, these questions, they may seem kind of strange or they may seem kind of laughable, but we have so many people in the United States and in other countries that are listening to this right now that just don't know. They don't understand the monarchy. They don't understand the value of the monarchy. They don't understand why this is such a big deal. But people of England, they love the monarchy. The sentiment has turned from the 80s and from, you're thinking a little bit, because what I'm hearing and what I found when I was there is that people very much, like 89% approval rate for the monarchy in England.
Yeah, I think it's pretty polarizing, Chunga, to be honest with you.
Is it really? Okay.
I spoke to people who were devastated by this, that, the monarch, the matriarch of the country for the past 70 years is now gone. And, King Charles III, that's all great, but it's not the same. It's not the same as having, Elizabeth II. And it's just a huge shift. But there's also a lot of people who are royalists who are happy to have the monarchy, and there's other people who are anti-royalists who feel the monarchy is very expensive. It's a nice to have. The money should be spent elsewhere. And I'll be honest with you, Facebook's been 2/3 in favor of Charles III, and very sympathetic towards the royal family, and 1/3's been kind of a bit of a butt about it.
That's not really surprising. Especially in the world of social media, especially in the world of news and media in general, perforating the lives of everybody. No matter what you say, you could say the sky is blue, and you're going to get a third of the people that are going to come out and argue with you about that. What I mean? We see it every day on this show. Like, we could say the most benign, innocuous things ever, and there's always some asshole that comes out of the woodwork to tell you how wrong you are.
Yeah, actually,
Chunga, that's actually, it's just the way it is. That's the way today's world is. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and I think Thursday and Friday people were just devastated. It just really, I think a lot of the news outlets were like, hey, even Facebook was putting up messages over here saying that if you agree with it or don't agree with the monarchy, we would actually ask you to be respectful for the next few days, few weeks, and let people grieve. You know what I mean?
Would you just stow it for a little bit, basically?
Just put a lid on it.
And are they doing it? Are they doing that? People just kind of let their opinions subside for a little bit, or no?
In the main, it seems to be better. Like, on personal conversations, people have been very honest with me. Some have been very much okay with it and been very upset by it. And some have been, you know what, it doesn't really affect me. I don't care. Life goes on. But I think you can't really put any kind of sentiment on a lady that's done that level of service for 70 years of her life and has had as much of an influence as she's had, that, no matter where you stand in this kind of, in the whole what you think, it's still to be commended. You know what I mean? It's still like, oh my goodness, you know what I mean? She's the longest serving monarch in history, I believe.
She dedicated her entire life. She dedicated her whole life to service to her country. And I think that's what you're saying, is like, whether you agree with it or not, somebody that's willing to do that should be commended in the strongest ways possible, right?
I actually, listening to a couple of the stations over here, rock stations, when I've been traveling on DAB radio, and a whole bunch of them have been, just people have been writing in, emailing in, calling in, and saying that, part of the soul of the country's missing. And, when you think about it that way, that, she's been there for that long in such a prominent position and been through so much, you've got to bear in mind, and, she predates rock and roll. She predates a lot of things, and she's been around so much. And
her first prime minister was Winston Churchill.
Yeah,
correct.
Think about how many presidents and prime ministers she's been through, all during her reign. I saw pictures of her with Reagan, and pictures of her with Dwight Eisenhower and Harry Truman.
Oh man,
damn,
that is crazy to think about.
That is just nuts to think about. I know that people. There was a double rainbow that appeared over Buckingham Palace upon news of her death, and it really rocked people. And they all sang, and it was a very, very heartfelt, emotional moment for people in England there.
Yeah, because it was raining outside when the news broke, and then I think I left about 30 minutes later because it kind of ruined an evening, that kind of news. And we saw a rainbow locally, We heard stories about them. It'd been in a few locations because it had rained for a few days, and it kind of, when the sun comes out, you're going to get rainbows.
Wow.
I think that's awesome. I think, coincidence or no, the people of England feel that the Queen and her family are anointed by God to have the titles that they have. Whether you believe that or not, to me, is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that they're there serving their country, and they're doing good, the best they know how to do for the people of their country.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about it before, where you've got the Prime Minister of England. There's a new one of those as well, Liz Truss. She is responsible for the daily running of the country, but for the emotional well-being and religious beliefs and freedoms of the country is the Queen and the monarchy. That's their sole responsibility. And she's the head of the Church of England, and they're involved in that many charitable things that they do to support all over the country. Even outside the country, the Commonwealth.
So it is their role to remain independent and non-political, which I think that's where I think a lot of people they get a little bit jammed up. The monarchy, they don't take sides politically. And one would think, how is it possible to be a sovereign? How is it possible to be the head of a country, the head of multiple countries, actually, and still maintain independence that way? I think they've done a remarkable job. I'll just tell you, I'm fascinated by the royals. I'm fascinated by monarchies in general, having been there, I was briefly detained at Buckingham Palace. Some of you know this, just farting around and being stupid. Having gone to a lot of these places and seeing them, I find it fascinating. And for those of you who don't understand why the monarchy exists today, it's really twofold. And Chris, tell me if I'm wrong. It's really two primary reasons. Number one, it is the tradition and the heritage of the nation, and it's wanted by most of the people. Like you said, about 2/3 of it's been all over the news that the popularity percentages are high 80s for the royal family currently in England. So
take your word for
I don't know if that's
don't know the statistic on that. I can't really say it's correct or incorrect. All I'm kind of saying is that for every conversation I have, for every one conversation that's negative, I have
there's somebody that doesn't like it. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense to me. I'm just regurgitating what I've seen on the news. But the other part of this is just property ownership. This family own
so much.
All the property, they own pretty much everything, and that's how the monarchy stays in place, because it's all theirs. They own everything, and that's kind of how the monarchy exists for the people who don't find them popular. It's like, okay, you don't have to like us, but I own the land your house is on, so suck it. Right. Yeah, I mean that's really kind of how it is. So. What do people think about Charles?
I was just going to ask that.
This is my next big question: is what are people thinking about King Charles now? Because he immediately becomes the king upon the passing of the Queen. People don't know this. It's instantaneous, right? When that happens.
So I think they started on Friday. As soon as the next day, he was travelling down the country, going to Holyrood, which is the Scottish Parliament, and various other locations. And he's been in Buckingham Palace today. He addressed the nation on Friday, and his kind of commendation of ascension to be the King of England has been accepted by all the major people. It's going to happen.
All right.
If you kind of look at CNN, you can look at all the big news media networks. There's been a lot of God Save the King, and people singing God Save the King, because for the past 70 years we've been singing God Save the Queen's the national anthem. So we're changing the national anthem. We're changing stamps. We're changing money. We have to change passports. It's changing so much. It's
holy cow.
It's a big deal.
Think about that. They just released new currency. I saw this news story too. They how we remake the dollar every once in a while. We'll have a new 50 or a new 100, and they've changed it and they've done stuff. Well, they just changed the pound, and the new ones have the Queen all over it. So they're going to have to change them again, right? Or are they going to keep them? What's the word there?
Well, every piece of currency has the Queen on it. From a 1 pence piece up to like a £2 coin, which is the biggest kind of like metal coin you can get. And then you've got £5, £10, £20 and £50 notes which have the Queen's head on the front.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And
these are take a minute.
It's going to take a minute.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So what do people think about Charles? Like, they're largely being supportive of him based on what he said, right?
It looks like they're largely been supportive. He actually addressed the nation on Friday night, and it seems to have gone over really, really well. That he's come across as compassionate and sincere, and he's thanked the nation for all the outpouring of sympathy and people being open to admit the sadness of Elizabeth, Her Royal Highness Elizabeth II passing. And he's thanked the nation, and it's come across well. And he was meeting and greeting people at Buckingham Palace this morning and yesterday, shaking people's hands and thanking them for coming out and receiving cards and flowers, on behalf of the public. And so far, it seems to be, that he's got 2 thumbs up. You know what I mean? The people seem to be liking it in the whole.
It's holding. I know that there's been a lot of controversy about Charles, and would he allow his ascension to take place? Would he abdicate and just pass it down to William, because William is so much more popular? But from what I've seen, everyone has been very accepting of this, and the sentiment about Charles seems to have shifted.
It has, more than I would have expected. When I was out on the Friday, when I was traveling to Scotland, every news network was like, what's he going to do? Is he going to take the throne, or is he going to give it to William? Everybody wasn't quite sure. And then the next thing, he's going to take the throne. It's going to be William. He's going to be like Charles III, and he could have chosen a different name, but he went with Charles III. Because the last Charles was Charles II, and he was the one that they asked the royal family to come back because they had a guy called Oliver Cromwell, and he wasn't very popular, and he was a political guy. And then they asked Charles II to come back, and that was the last Charles that we had. So it's been hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of years since we've had a Charles.
Okay, so let's I just want to talk about this really quickly. So, how Anakin Skywalker,
here we go.
when he became a Sith Lord, he changed his name to Darth Vader, right? He took a new name. When the Pope becomes the Pope, when a cardinal becomes a Pope, they take a new name. So this is very much an old school. Historically, this is not something that's unique. You ascend to a different role in your life, and you take on a title. And believe it or not, mom and dad are very much part of this. You have your name, and then when you become a father, you take on the title of dad. Or when you become a mother, you take on the title of mum or mom, over in the UK, depending. And that's all thousands of years old. When a royal ascends to the throne, it was very common for them to take on a traditional historical name. They would change their name. So in this case, Charles Windsor would now become King Henry the Ninth or something like that. He would take on a new name.
I never knew that.
And when the Queen, when Queen Elizabeth, when she was coronated, they said, what name are you going to take? And she said, I'm going to take Elizabeth. And they said, well, don't you want to become Queen Victoria II, or don't you want to... No,
so they can just randomly pick.
Yes.
Wow, I never knew that.
I want to become. And so people, I think that a very similar thing happened with Charles, right? That they were like, well, are you going to become King Richard or King, so-and-so? And he said, no, I'm going to stay Charles. And that was kind of unique, as I understand it. Chris.
Yeah, it's he gets I think he got a choice book just for the sake of he's been Charles Windsor, Charles Mountbatten, whatever you want to call him, for so long, that he's been the Prince of Wales and the Duchy of Cornwall for so long. It's like, why change it? He's not 20 years old and ascending to the throne like his mother did. He's 74, I believe. So it's like, why would you want to change that when you're so easily recognised?
Yeah,
and then William, and obviously. Yeah, and William's had to change it now because he was the Duke of Cambridge. He's now the Prince of Wales and the Duchy of Cornwall. So he's had to change all of his titles as well because he's now second in line to the throne. So all that's changed as well.
Will he keep his name, you think, or will he be King William, or will he change his? Because that's specifically what I'm talking about. Is these guys, they change their actual surname. Or their whatever their first name is surname is like family name, right? Yeah. So they change their first name. They've done this repeatedly throughout history. So I wonder if King William will be called King William.
I'm not sure. It's Charles is getting up there, 74 years old. Obviously they have the genetics to last. The Queen Mother was 101, 102. The Queen was 96.
Wow.
His father was like just under 100 years old, I believe, possibly 100 years old for Prince Philip. So he could be on the throne for 20 plus years.
You know what that means? Inbreeding is like, it works. That's it works.
I love that over here in the U.S. they were blaming the Queen's death on because they weren't allowed to have her martinis, and they're like, oh, that's why. The second they took her martinis away, then she dies. They're like, okay, cool. So that's what the U.S. folk are talking about over here.
You know, the Queen's drinking no martini. She would have been a straight single malt Scotch McClellan girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice McClellan 18. That was Liz's kind of jam, I think. So.
I have to be honest, Chris. I was halfway waiting for you to say, "Is he going to be called King William?" I don't give a shite. I'm going to be an American by then.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be an American by the time William's around. All right. Well, so Chris, what actually are you doing in England? You're there seeing family. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
you just got weddings and stuff to go to, and
no, it was just basically I wanted to come over anyway, so it seemed like a good time. The flights were cheap enough.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay. And everything's kind of lined up. And technically, I still file tax returns in the UK, so I came back to file a tax return and see my parents and do some work, because my parents live in my house, do some work on the house and do a bit of traveling and see friends and family. Unfortunately, I've had a couple of friends who passed away in the past few months, so I wanted to come over here and see their families and just see how they were doing. You know what I mean? Just to check in. Guys who similar to my age, so very sudden, very surprising. So bit of that, and obviously I had a good friend who got married in COVID and couldn't get to the wedding. We did the wedding by FaceTime, which worked out really well. Made me feel super feely. So he got married, has two-step. He got married, had two-step daughters, and I just got to watch a whole bunch of drunk Scottish people kind of on FaceTime. It was great.
Throw axes and logs at each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't see that bit, but I know that vast amounts of alcohol was consumed on that evening from what I saw. So
I can only imagine. Yeah. So how long are you there for before you come back home?
I fly back Wednesday, so I've got another couple of days here. I'm going to spend some more time with the family. Basically eat fish and chips, drink warm beers.
Nice.
Drink warm beer.
they don't have Maltesers. Hey, you better be bringing me some of those back, dude. I want some Maltesers.
I'm going to see if we can set up my own stall of Maltesers and take it to the Whopper fans out there. Yeah, you heard me.
There you go.
Now, listen, I'm a Malteser fan.
I've just upset 50% of the Ronin fan, which I do not apologize for.
Maltesers are way better.
Maltesers are way better than Whoppers. There's absolutely no question about it. Okay, well, listen, Chris, thank you so much. I know this was a fit throw in hell ride for you to try and get to the show in time to do this, and I know you're going to dinner with Mom and Dad. So
yes, I am. Yeah.
Please tell them hi for us. Thanks for taking the time to do this. Safe travels, and you were very much missed during the Ronin invasion here in Vegas.
We missed you, mate.
We missed you.
Yeah, I've heard the good things. I've heard that Motley Crue were not great. I've heard some of the Ronin family reached out to me and said that there was good and there was bad, and Poison were great and Joan Jett was great, but Motley Crue were
news in the UK.
You know what, Chris? They're spot on.
Yeah, they're spot on.
Yeah. It was horrible. We left a half hour into Motley Crue.
Yeah,
seriously. Go on. How's Def Leppard? Was my question.
Listen, I've never seen them before. Greg had never seen them. Chandler, Shannon, Greg, and I had never seen them before.
Yeah.
They were. This will go down as one of the best shows, if not the best show I've ever seen.
It is the best I've ever seen.
And Def Leppard was, and I've seen some historic shows. This was just next level, and Def Leppard was untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. They were incredible. I haven't missed a step. They were so good, Chris. They were so good, and I'm so happy I got to see them.
Well, and one fun thing too is they actually did a tribute to the Queen, because it was the Queen had just recently passed, and so right before they did their 2 acoustic songs, they put up the big Union Jack flag and dedicated to the Queen, and it was very emotional in Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was like, "All right, that was pretty cool."
Yeah.
So I'm bummed you missed it. Yeah, it's been a super emotional weekend, because obviously I think isn't today the 21 years of 9/11? I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned
it. Is,
yeah, as of today. We haven't even talked about that, and that's some years are like that. Some years we talk about it, some years we don't. For me, it's a very close thing.
Right.
I say this pretty much every year. I don't know that a day goes by that I don't think about that day.
That's
still very, very true. But for me, it was kind of awesome. Can I be honest with you? It was kind of awesome that we had so much positive stuff. Even with regard to the Queen, we had so much positive stuff to talk about today that it's just not really something that we were going to talk about on the show. Not because we don't care, but it's just because let's move on from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been all over the news here as well, considering there's so much talk about the Queen and the passing of Charles III. It's been on the news here as well, so it's been very much in people's thoughts and.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
And also,
absolutely.
So, just as a side note, I just want to thank all the Ronin family that reached out to me by Facebook Messenger and text and Instagram to say, just to check in to make sure I was okay on Friday. After what happened. It meant a huge amount, and I really appreciate you guys. So, thank you so much.
Oh, that's cool.
Of course, yeah, Chris. I know the answer to this question because we were talking, right? But how are you through this? Was this an emotional thing for you when this all went down?
To be honest with you, yeah, it really is, because you know it's that, like I said, this elephant in the room. You know it's going to happen eventually, and you don't want it to happen. Sure. And when it does, it just kind of just sweeps the just the carpet from under your feet. You feel kind of feel kind of sick. You feel kind of hollow. She's been such an important figurehead of the country for so long. And, I was in the Scout movement, and you kind of...
Sure.
She's head of the Scout movement and, the military and everything else that comes along with it. She's been that kind of guiding force for the country for so long that it's... How could you not feel... how could you not feel something?
I think there's something wrong with you if you couldn't.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Where she's that much of an ever-present, an omnipresent figure in your country. I don't know how that could be.
It's like England lost its mother/grandmother. It's the weirdest thing. I can't find the words that eloquently put it together to say how as a nation everybody feels.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, listen, mate, we'll let you get to dinner. We've kept you way too long. Cheers. Thank you so much for doing this, and please be safe traveling back home. We've got it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, we have a studio set up in Chris's house now.
Hey!
Yeah.
So Chris will be on the show more.
Yes!
And it won't be echoey anymore like the other times we've had him.
Sorry.
We've got everything. We've got everything all set up for him. And we'll talk to him more when he returns, when he comes back across the pond.
And if anybody could put a good word in with immigration for me, that'd be great too.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I've got to get back in yet, so a good word if anybody's passing through would be very helpful.
Okay, done. We'll see what we can do.
We'll call our people.
All right, Chris, safe travels, man.
Right,
we'll see you when you get back.
Thanks, mate.
Right, cheers.
Right, take care, guys. Bye.
Cheers.
I miss Chris. Even though we're in Vegas, he's in Utah. He's been gone. It feels like he's been gone for a very long time.
I know. It feels like several months, and it's been like 9 days or something like that?
Yeah,
if that.
It's been a long time. Did you notice? I thought it was kind of interesting. When I was saying like they're so popular, the Royals are so popular, and he's like, It's interesting to me how wrong we get it over here sometimes, just based on what we're getting from the news media.
Right. Yeah,
where they're like, everyone loves the monarchy, and he's like, no, not really.
I can see he kind of had that look like somebody just let a bad fart, and he didn't know who in the room did it.
Right.
That's the kind of face Chris had when I was like, but they're very popular. He's like, are they? Yeah. But over here, we think the Royals are very popular based on what we've been told. So
is it just
that's why I love having him on, because he's got the real story, right?
Right. Is it just me, or was his accent like even more like sexy than normal? Because he's been over there. And I was like, damn, dude, like,
it's coming back.
He sounds good.
So it is kind of funny. I've had British friends where you get around their family. They when they're around Americans, they'll adopt the American accent a little bit more. But when they're around their family, it's ineligible.
Snaps right back too.
Yeah. And I'm just like over in the corner, like the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. English, please. I can't. This isn't even English.
Cool, refreshing water.
It's like Celtic now.
Right.
It's some sort of Gaelic speak. I can't understand anything. Yeah, the accent was a little bit stronger.
I liked it. I was like, hey,
Chris,
man.
I was like, good job, mate. Yeah. Okay, so he hates it when I do that.
Yeah, he does.
I'm sorry, Chris. So, okay, here's the thing. We're not doing headline D&D today.
There's
too much other stuff going on, and so if you have a headline D&D story that you've submitted, hang in there. We'll do it next week.
There we go.
In the meantime, if you have headline D&D stories that you would like to submit to us, all you do is send them to Chandler. Yep. You can send them to any of us, but really send them to Chandler because he's the one that puts the spreadsheet together.
Chandler at Radio Ronin, nice and easy.
There you go. We have Greg's first Halloween movie of the year. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, but before we do that, thank you, Goblins. Thank you to our Patreon Goblins. Every single one of these guys, $50 a month. Let's hit it, Chandler. What do we have?
So we have Angel starting us off here. Thank you, Angel. We have Ben Booth, the Badger Man, and Brian Booth. I'm a naughty big man.
Yep.
That's you.
I am. I'm a naughty big man.
That's so good.
Yeah.
We have Daybreak Aesthetics. Thank you. We have Gina and Janae Green. Thank you, ladies. We have Her Royal Highness, which is Jessica Terry. Thank you, Jessica. We have Jody College. Then we have No Pressure, but this comes out of my grocery budget. That's Amy B.
Amy, I will not be guilted. I will not be guilted.
Right.
I will be grateful, however.
Oh, yeah.
Very grateful, Amy. Not guilted, but grateful.
I love that.
I will buy you a Coke, or I will buy you an Angel Dog when we go to the Angels game.
Oh, there you go.
Later this month. I'm going to Jim and Amy. We're going to go to an Angels game. I'm going to buy you an Angels Dog as a way to. It's like $4. But I'm going to reciprocate the grocery.
Let's see. Also at $50 a month, we have Short and Sweet. That's Jill and Nicolette.
Yep. I love those two.
Thank you.
I love those two. I love them as long as the day is long.
Love you long time.
Yeah. Annyeong.
We have Skyla, who we ate Suki's with, and
Skyla and Viv,
such a good dude.
Yeah,
thank you, man.
And all their friends. That was really, really cool.
Yeah. We have Taylor Casper, a huge car guy. Thank you, Taylor. Yep. Our first Super Goblin at 51 is Cindy Queen of Bastion. She was like, I'm having FOMO, but remember we shamed her for not coming down to the concert. Yes. She's like, Chunga, do I look like I'm a metalhead to you?
She's like, I will not be shamed for not liking metal.
I was like, sorry, Cindy.
Cindy, you of all people should love metal.
Right, it's the best.
If there's ever anyone that I thought would love metal, it'd be Cindy.
I know, I thought the same thing.
And Rory, for that matter.
Right. At $51 a month, we have Ben Pearson of Pearson Remodeling. We finished basement.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. At $51.11, we have Mata Lords.
Shout at the Mata! Shout at the Mata! Shout!
Hey, Vince.
Shout at the Mata!
That's better than Vince, to be honest.
That's actually better than Vince. I was trying to be Vince Neil.
Oh man!
Shout at the he sounded like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It sounded like he inhaled like 18 helium balloons.
And then he get winded. I can't even get my voice up that high. It was seriously like listening to a Chipmunk.
Oh yeah,
I love that. Like we're halfway through the set and Panda leans over and he's like, he's just like leaning on like the staging. Like the dude's already out of gas. That
he would grab the staging and lean up against it while he was singing.
That's so funny.
I have this. Look, I'm just going to play this.
Do you have? I may have a clip too. Oh.
I have some of this that I think you might be interested to hear.
Oh no.
This might be insightful. Here, let me see. Listen to Vince Neil. Listen to it. Can you hear him? That was probably not the best video.
Shout at the devil!
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. Let me pause it. There we go.
When he had to have some female singers up on the stage with him, helping him with the shout at the devil, that says something.
You know, really, if I wanted to do Vince Neil, it sounded. Can I just be honest? It sounded more like SpongeBob.
Dude, that's kind of spot on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if I wanted to say, shout at the Marta, that was really more what he sounded like. I'm sorry, Marta. I'm sorry, Marta. I tried to do a good Vince Neil. I couldn't do it.
Oh man, Vince Neil is SPongebob. Yeah, I can't.
He sounded very much like SpongeBob
see that
when
now.
SpongeBob was singing songs.
Well, you never have seen the two of them in the same room, have you?
No shit. Alrighty, picking back up here at $51.50, we have the American badass himself, Lane Hilton.
Lane Hilton,
dude, thank you.
That's Captain Lane Hilton.
Thank you. At $52.25, we have Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
That's Matthew Cronkite, America's most trusted man.
He is the most trusted man.
Yeah.
At $52.30, we have Lord and Lady Snoffingham surviving the bad drivers and the heat of St. George. Yep. So glad you guys are doing okay.
You guys should have come down for the Ronin invasion.
Yeah, can we shame them now?
Matt and Esther, you guys should have come down.
Shame Cindy. Shame. At $55.55, we have St. Shannon West, who we'll be seeing in, like 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, Senior Frogs.
It's going to be awesome, At $57.01, we have Natalie Croft, and there's no quote. There's no quote again.
Natalie, what's up with this?
I'm feeling bad now. because
Bring it back, Natalie. Bring it back.
You started all this. You can't just stop doing quotes.
At 57.75, we have So We Noticed with Ian and Angela.
Right.
I believe episode 10 or episode 11 just came out, and they're crushing it. I love these two.
They're a little spicy.
Yeah, very spicy.
I love Ian and Angela.
Yeah. At 57.77, we have the man who just made it back from Orlando, Ken Kruger.
Oh, he's back.
He's back, and we're in talks about starting up his segment on the show, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
And he's growing out a mullet with me, so yeah, special man. Let's see. At $60 a month, we have King Richard.
Yeah, King Richard Drew of Utah County.
Yep.
I need to get Richard's status. Last I checked, he was going in for a procedure down there.
Hey-oh.
At
$60 a month, we have Phil back with a vengeance, Johnson.
Yep.
Oh, hey.
He's back with a vengeance. What does that mean, Phil?
Yeah, what did you...
He's back with a vengeance. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, let us know. It's 60.07. We have Dr. Steve McKiff of McKiff Dental.
Yeah.
Are you in yet? I hate that question.
It's Ocean 13. Ocean 13.
I love that. At 62.22, we have Chris the Brit and Bren, who once saw Ringo Starr. At least they thought it was Ringo. It could have been the guy from Fiddler on the Roof, but you know.
So that is a quote. I guess that's a quote from a movie. I didn't know that. Oh,
really?
So I thought she was just being funny.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to Bren, I don't know, a dozen times since we last did this and she has never once told me that's a quote from a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
right, well,
I think it was
they're being cheeky.
I don't know which I think it's an Adam Sandler movie.
I mean, yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like it. At $65 a month, we have Poltergeisty, which is the legend himself, Guy Stones. Thank you, man. At $70.50, we have Greg West, who is not related to Kanye. And
nope. But much more good looking.
Much better looking.
Much more good looking. And well endowed. Yeah. I'm just going to say it.
How do you know?
He told me.
Oh, did he?
No, he told me.
Greg, nice man.
Yep.
Yeah. At $80 a month, we have I saw what I saw when I saw it.
Yeah, you got to say it like, I saw what I saw when I saw it.
I saw what I saw when I saw it. How's that?
What is that? What is that?
I don't know what that's from.
What is that, Panda?
So
I don't know what that's from.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, okay. I was actually Chandler. I don't think Chandler has actually seen that movie yet.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you have seen it?
No, I've definitely seen it. Oh, yeah.
I love
that one.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 5.
Yeah, that's one
Abbott
of
and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, and that's one of my favorite quotes from it. Is I saw what I saw when I saw it.
And it's been that line was so popular they put it in Looney Tunes. They put it all over the place. That was almost like
that's right.
Like Bill Murray saying he slimed me.
Uh-huh.
You know, it became a popular catchphrase at that time, and I'm still too stupid to get it. I'm sorry, Panda.
Well played, man. At $100 a month, we have Andre's Mom and Accent Doors officially sponsor the 5 days a week Ronin campaign.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also at $100 a month, we have John at RadioRoninIsTheBomb.com.
John Kennedy.
It's a real website. You can go check it out.
Yep.
Yeah. At $105.75, we have Denise Godzilla Hunsaker. You tell him, and I will smack you. I will smack you like a bad donkey. Okay.
Yeah, we still don't know what that's from.
Adam sent me a message. He gave me a hint. I believe it's from the Muppets. I think it's Rizzo and what's his name?
Rizzo the Rat and
Pepe.
Oh,
and
Pepe.
Gonzo?
Or Pepe.
Okay.
I think it might be Pepe.
Okay.
Adam gave me a little bit of a hint, so you have to let me know.
Okay.
And then speaking of Adam, at $110.77, we
just upped his investment, by the way.
Yeah, I cut them all. Maleverin, Marmalade, Mary Tag Maria, Pernaroon, Passendale, Prosciutto, Solers, Samso, and Scamorza.
So you've just destroyed 2 of the 3 Ronin. Adam.
Yeah, but at least Chandler's reading made me feel better about mine.
I just went for it, man. I was in it. You were in there. Yeah. I was all cheese. Let's see. At $111.11, we have Just a Girl Jean.
Yep.
It's Jean Marie. Thank you.
Right.
At $120 a month, we have Semper Fi to Radio Ronin.
Yeah, thank you, Darren Phillips. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. At $150 a month, the man who gave me a very good hug, Stephen Spank Murray.
Oh, yeah. Red Rock Heating and Cooling.
Yeah, it was so good to finally see him in person again.
And wrote, I think, a spot-on review of the show. Always great to see him and his family. And shout out to Dean as well. It was great to see Dean, who came with Spank. He was on the famous cruise where the guys fell overboard.
Oh, wow.
I remember that, yeah.
Dean and his wife.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, did you talk to him about it? They were on that cruise, the famous cruise where the guy fell overboard.
I sadly didn't really get to talk very much to Spank either because, it was so busy there at the Sickies, and it was just I didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting seeing Spank and Gregg meet for the first time. It was fun because they both did the same job at the radio station. But I also kind of saw Spank bow down a little bit.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I don't know if you saw this because I was like, these guys were total music files, and Spank's like, whoa, hey. Not at Gregg's level. Yeah. He was like, hey, not I used to be, but I don't know. So
I love that.
I'm just giving Spank a hard time. Spank, it was awesome to see you, dude. Yeah. The very first thing Spank says, he walks into Sickies and he's like, I know I'm in Vegas. You want to know how I'm in Vegas? I said, I don't know. He goes, there's a billboard with a gigantic sex toy on it, just right by the airport. And I was like, oh, I thought that was an ice cream scoop. I really did.
And he just looked at you like,
I didn't even know. He was like, what? I thought, I was like, oh, so that's what that is.
Go, I didn't even know. I think Pink Cherry was an ice cream place.
I was like, oh, I thought that was for like a froyo. I thought that was a froyo joint.
He was like, no,
you idiot.
So good. Alrighty, at $350 a month, we have Keep It Rolling, you glorious bastards.
Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous.
You know, here at thank you.
Anonymous, listen, you were missed.
Yeah.
I think you should have come to the show.
Yeah.
I think you should have come to Vegas, Anonymous. That's the one thing I will let on about Anonymous is that this person does not live in Vegas.
Yeah, and they were not present at the...
it would have been so awesome for you to be at the show.
Oh, man.
You would have
Can you imagine?
It.
Yeah. And then wrapping us up here at $351 a month. Holy cow.
Yeah.
My evil auntie, your evil twin, the Queen of Quench, Angela.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's a cool list. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Angela, for providing quenchets to everybody that came down during the invasion.
Right.
And speaking of people who were missed, you should have been here.
Yeah.
Shame. You and Ian both.
Shame.
They're coming down for the Elton John show.
Nice.
So it'll be
his second final tour. He's doing another one.
Yeah, yet another. Them, Motley Crue, Elton John, Motley Crue, and Kiss, they will not go away.
So many final tours.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
Well, and I really wish Angela would have been there too, because I really needed to quench it when I was in Vegas, because I was just like, I'm so sweaty.
Yeah. It was very hot. It was indeed. Okay, Panda, thank you, by the way, to all of our goblins.
Thank you.
Goblin Ghost Hunt is coming up very, very soon. Details are on patreon.com. Go check it out if you're a goblin. We would love to have you there. Now, if you do not want to ghost hunt, you're still welcome to come and hang out. There is a pavilion at the Benson Grist Mill. Are we providing food? No. But you're welcome to bring food and come and hang out and just kind of BS with everybody and just kind of have it's a little ice cream social.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people say they're doing that. They're like, hey, I don't want to ghost hunt, but I'm still going to come hang out with you guys, which is awesome. Yeah, it's going to be great.
We will have ghost hunting gear for people to that you guys can use. We're bringing our gear. Panda's got gear. Castle will no doubt have gear. I think Shane K. Daniels is going to be showing up.
Yeah.
We will have people there that will help you learn how to ghost hunt if you've never done it before. Even if you don't want to, and then you decide you may want to go check out one of the various buildings at Benson Grist Mill, you can just try 1 or 0 or whatever.
Just one. You don't even have to go inside. You can just go take some cool pictures.
This is going to be the most chill event we've ever done.
Yeah.
And we'll also have the new Patreon shirts there for our goblins. We'll have your shirts there for you as well. So we're really excited about that. That's coming up next month. Go to patreon.com. You can get all the deets there.
There we go.
Panda, first Halloween movie of the year. Yes. Let's do this, man. I'm so excited. So what did you pick for your number one?
All right. So for the first Panda's Halloween movie shout out comes from 2007, and it's a musical.
A musical?
It's a musical.
It's a musical. Okay.
It's one of the adaptations of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Yeah.
Nice. Now Cindy is cheering.
Yeah, yes.
Right. Now Cindy is cheering. Yeah. Sweeney Todd is a fantastic musical.
Yeah.
And I believe the original was Angela Lansbury, the nice, sweet Murder, She Wrote lady, Mrs. Potts. I think she got her big break, if I'm not mistaken, in Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber, which is a very dark musical. Very, very dark.
And that's what I love about it, because it really puts you in a dark mood. And this particular version from 2007 as well, it's directed by Tim Burton. So it's got that Tim Burton feel to it as well. And you get all that great music. Yeah, and so
it's Helena Bonham Carter and it's Johnny Depp, as Sweeney Todd, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. And if people aren't familiar with the storyline of it, it's the legendary tale of a barber who returns from wrongful imprisonment in the 1840s London. Bent on revenge for the rape and death of his wife, he resumes his trade while forming a sinister partnership with his fellow tenant, Mrs. Lovett.
Yeah, so good.
I'm just going to give away the premise of this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the way this works is he comes back from prison. He opens a barbershop. No one will come to the barbershop because he was wrongfully imprisoned. Nobody. And keep in mind, Fleet Street is not the best. It's not the best part of London.
So that's a real part of town, right?
Oh, yeah. That's Fleet Street is like, it's even to this day, like if you go to the Whitechapel district, you go by the Ten Bells pub, kind of in that area where Jack the Ripper was committing his murders in the late 1800s. It's still a terrible part of town.
Oh, yeah.
Still to this day, it's not a good part of town. Fleet Street, also not a good part of town.
Okay.
But back then, really not a good part of town. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is he can't get anybody to come to his barbershop, and so Mrs. Lovett starts making meat pies that become very popular. Meat pies are very, very popular amongst. She's selling them for cheap. Everybody can't get enough of these meat pies. Come to find out that someone is killing people near the area where the meat pies are being made. And I'll let you just kind of go from there, right?
Yeah.
And then you can just kind of figure it out from there.
Yeah,
so good.
Probably the most cannibalism that I've ever seen in a movie happens in this movie.
And it's a musical.
Yeah.
And with the original being Angela Lansbury of all people.
Well, and I believe it was Stephen Sondheim who wrote the music to this one as well.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. I might be wrong about that, but I guess I could look it up. But I think it's Sondheim.
It would make sense. It was probably the 70s when this came out. Was it? I think it was the 70s.
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere around then. Cindy's probably screaming at us right now, going, "You!"
Look, I'm sorry. I should know, Cindy. No, you should. I should absolutely know this, but I don't. I'll have to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry, Cindy.
And like you mentioned before, the star of it is Johnny Depp, and he is phenomenal in this role. He is so perfect for it. And
he sings.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got Helena Bonham Carter in it as well. You've also got the great Alan Rickman playing Judge Turpin.
Oh,
yeah. Hans Gruber.
I love the guy, and he plays the perfect villain. He's always great as a villain in a movie. You've also got Sacha Baron Cohen in this as well, who you may know as Bruno or as
Borat.
Ali G.
Yep.
Ali G. And then you've
who does he play in this? I can't remember who he plays.
Oh, he plays Pirelli, the Italian barber guy who threatens to out Sweeney, at one point.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also people will now know who this person is because of a recent show he was in. Jamie Campbell Bowers, who played Vecna in Stranger Things, is in this movie.
Oh, get out of here.
So people, if you don't know Jamie, this dude is unreal. He's in a band, by the way.
Yeah.
And his band is kick-ass. He's the lead singer, and I mean, the vocals on this dude is insane.
He's got a great voice.
One of my favorite actors now, this guy. Seeing him as Vecna with the little...
Number one.
Yeah, with this little, what is a Starbucks drink? He's just a classy dude. He's fun.
Well, and hearing him sing the song Joanna in this, too... His voice, he's got an excellent voice. I didn't
realize that he was that old. I thought he was a fairly young guy, but 2007, that was quite a while ago. 16 years ago?
Well, and he does have a little bit of a kind of a baby face where I think even when he's like 101 years old, he's still going to look like he's 13.
He's going to still look the same.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, so excellent first choice. Where can people watch this?
All right, so if you have HBO Max or DirecTV, you can watch it as part of your subscription.
Nice.
Okay. So I had somebody ask, I don't know if you saw this, Greg. Someone asked, is there a list of movies that Panda has reviewed?
On
Facebook, boy. Somebody said, "Is there a list?" We've reviewed a lot of movies.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is one somewhere, or we can put one together for you.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of them.
I in the beginning I was keeping a list, but then I stopped because I got lazy.
We can figure it out. I mean, Pam has been on the show now for over a year. Greg has been on the show now, starting not this past summer, but the summer before. And we've been doing them ever since. So it's 8 shows a month times 52.
That's a lot
so
of movies.
If anybody out there wants to perform a very labor of love kind of thing, just go back and listen to them and make a list.
That's so funny.
That's eight movies a month.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Sweeney Todd is our first, and you're going to be doing, for people who don't know, you're doing a Halloween movie every single show up till Halloween now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, up until
super excited
Halloween,
about it.
because I want to get them started early, because I've been in that mood for like the past month already, so...
Oh, yeah. We watched Trick or Treat while you were here. I've never seen this before.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I loved it. Can I just tell you, it's nonsense.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Movie is nonsense, and I loved it. I loved
I'm still confused by it.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Trick or Treat. I don't know where I was at when this movie came out. Never seen it before, but it was great.
Yeah.
Well,
it was bizarre, and it was great.
Yeah, and it was definitely one of those that flew under the radar when it was released, and it's now become a cult classic, where I'm seeing merchandise all the time now for Trick or Treat. That didn't happen like 10 years ago.
No, it didn't. It came out. What year did Trick or Treat come out?
It was like, I think it was 2009, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so also a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember the it was kind of a dry, kind of weird movie called The Neighbors, and it was Tom Hanks and John Belushi, and it was just this weird. That's kind of what Trick or Treat reminded me of.
Okay.
Just this bizarre, strange kind of. It didn't make a lot of sense, and you think more about it after you watch it. Like you watch it, and you're like, "What am I even watching? I don't understand this." And then a couple of days later, you're still trying to sort it out in your head.
Well,
that's what Trick or Treat is.
Especially because there's all these different storylines that do intersect at one point. And, when you watch it on the second watch, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, so I see that there. I see that there.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Starts to make more sense.
That's when you want to watch a couple times.
Yeah,
I got you.
Sure.
Okay, anyway, that was one of the Halloween movies from last year.
Yes.
That Greg recommended. It's from last Halloween. So, all right. Well, anyway, that's the show. Headline D&D returns next Monday. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on. Thank you, Chris. And thanks to all of you. Every single one of you that we got to spend time with this weekend. It was amazing. It was so much fun. Huge thank you to everybody who came to Sicky's, who came up to say hey out on the street, who came up during the concert. There was a lot of you, and we're very grateful. So thanks again. I hope everybody had a great time in Vegas. I hope you all were able to get back home safe to wherever you live, and we will see you on the next show. Bye.